You might as well be like, there's too much fucking leaf lettuce in this salad. um... Okay, so this is 3G episode 141, and holy shit, let's spoil the fuck out of some Game of Thrones. Nah, I'm just fine. I didn't watch anything, so I just was exposed to all the people who threw a tantrum about it last week, and
I think those same people are going to be very upset.
Oh yeah, they are. I mean, like I don't.
I clicked on an article that was like saying that it was just joking about what they should do, but in the first fucking sentence it tells you everything that happened. No spoiler alert, just what actually happened in the show, and then it tries to tell you
Well,
what.
from the low-level whining I saw on Twitter, and I don't follow people that spoil shit, I follow people that send fake spoilers to piss people off.
Where's this stupid fucking flashback?
Which I find amusing. I already turned it in.
Oh. Well, that's why I can't find the damn thing.
Like, a lot of people are complaining about who deserves to be on the, the Iron Throne? Is that what it's called? Yeah, there are a lot of people who are, like, somebody deserves it, right? I'm just sitting there thinking, like,
None of these motherfuckers deserve it.
If a good person ends up on the throne, like, I guess you would call it morally good, not subjectively good, then nobody deserves to be on the throne, because this isn't like being nominated as the fucking homecoming king or queen. This is you being the head of state. You're supposed to be, working in a government capacity. So I don't know. I'm probably being pedantic, and now let's just say this: if anybody wants to be the head of state and thinks they deserve it, that's motherfucking Hillary Clinton shit. Like,
chances are they should not.
Yeah, if you want it, you shouldn't be it. It's a job you're supposed to do, not an entitlement.
If you begrudgingly accept it when it's bestowed upon you, you're probably going to do a much better job.
Yeah, so I mean, if it's somebody who's like not very politically involved, who doesn't have the fucking rapacious history that pretty much, like, okay, let's take Tyrion for example. Tyrion would be terrible if he was fucking on the Iron Throne, because you know why? He's got a lot of fucking history. Just probably wouldn't be good for the realm, and that should be your criteria. Who should be king or queen, not who overcame the most or worked the hardest. That's just my opinion. If you want my real opinion on monarchy, it's a fucking terrible system and shouldn't exist. And I mean, the only good ending would be the fucking citizens of fucking Westeros having a socialist revolution and killing all the fucking nobles. But
right.
That's just me. I'm pretty sure that's not an outcome that's going to occur.
Bernie Sanders gets elected.
Bernie Sanders comes and fuck this goddamn throne. Fuck it, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Throws it off a fucking cliff. But yeah, I don't have a good Bernie voice. I'm sorry.
That was kind of addressed when you see the episode. I won't say any more.
Because I mean, just like I can't understand people who enjoy monarchy or defend it, or especially in today, like 2019. Just fuck off with that shit. Oh shit!
Oh man!
Gotta get up this bank. So the more I play Borderlands 1, the more I become convinced that I prefer to Borderlands 2. And, like, I used to think Lilith was kind of weak sauce to Maya, but my opinion's flipped. Like, Lilith's phase walk ability is just fucking ridiculous. I'm playing Borderlands 2 sometimes now, and let me tell you what, on fucking Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, I just wish my ass could fucking phase walk sometimes.
Right?
Now, I've got all the elemental badass shit with my phase lock, so, like, Ultimate Vault Hunter mode is kind of like the Heaven and Hell mode in Devil May Cry. Like, if I can phase lock something, or even just slag it with my phase lock, that thing's fucked. It doesn't matter what it is. Even bosses like that Wilhelm, I just tore it down in 5 seconds. Just no trouble. I murder through everything because I have like a double penetrating herald or whatever. So if they get slagged and I start shooting them with that fucking herald, especially while my B is up, they're done. Doesn't matter what it is. But on the other hand,
unless it's
I get killed in like a hit or two as well. So Hunter class mod. So yeah, like if I run into a group of threshers, I'm gonna have a bad day. But if I have to take care of a boss, unless it's that Terramorphous fuck who still is a chore to beat. Hey, if I was doing it with 2 players, it'd probably be pretty easy, because I can whittle its health down really fast, just not fast enough.
Base Terramorphous on level 50?
Yeah, even the level 51. Like, I'm level 57, he still fucking kills me in 2 hits. Alrighty. Speaking of which, we're about to fight a boss here soon.
See, I don't like doing Terramorpheus runs with him because he gets angry if he takes too long to get back and I get killed in the meantime. It's like,
Yeah,
you
so don't
died
fuck
first, you
around.
cunt.
Because I'm doing all the work!
He'll still kill you. There is nowhere you could go where he doesn't have a chance at killing you.
Yeah, there's like one rock outcropping you can hide behind what makes him less likely to hit you, but I think they patched him to make his AI behavior better, because he'll still get around that rock now. Better than he used to.
Yeah, now you have absolutely no shot of shooting a tentacle.
Yeah, that's always the downside of that place.
Rack hive.
Forgot about almost everything with this game.
Shooting it in the face with fire.
This thing makes an appearance in Tales from the Borderlands, too. Which is a damn shame that
like
game went out of business.
One of the
Or
you
studio.
and like these things don't really exist and they're extinct.
What?
Are they extinct now?
Rack
Not in
hives?
any of the other ones.
Oh, I don't know.
Not the later ones.
Ow, that hurt. I don't think so. It's just you never have to fight them, so. Oh, it died.
Yeah, 'cause you
Trophy.
killed it in the face of fire.
Gotta love them trophies. So, Jared's back to work on Monster Boy. Right, Jared? And Final Fantasy IX. And I started it a little while ago, but I'm working on it more in earnest now. Game called Fell Seal Arbiter's Mark. If you like Final Fantasy Tactics, you'll like this game. It's just...
We should fight this thing again and again. To level up.
Oh, does it give you that much? I guess it did give good experience.
Gave me almost a whole level.
Yeah, but then we'd have to exit the game and rejoin. It'd be a bitch.
Yeah, that sounds like a pain in the ass.
I'm pretty sure we'll end up leveling as we run through this. I think you pretty much cap out on normal difficulty mode at level 36-ish?
Rack.
But, yeah. Very, very obvious homage to Final Fantasy Tactics. It's got all the fucking classes. You can master classes to get permanent passive bonuses. When you level up as a certain class, your growth rate is different. You can reset your levels, all that fun shit. So I don't know how advanced Final Fantasy Tactics got, because I think wasn't there a sequel to it?
Well, pseudo sequel.
Yeah, Advance or some shit. So I don't know how many of these features eventually made its way there, but it knows what genre it's mimicking, and it mimics it pretty well. I don't really like the art style that much, but it's kind of hard for anyone to compare with Square Enix when it comes to like art design. And the animation quality in that game is pretty terrible too, even by the standards of the genre. So, Rebecca's seen me play it. She can probably attest to a lot of this, but... Hey, there's Greg.
There's Greg.
I just got done talking about Fell Seal, too. Well, not really, but... Just been sitting around replaying the second mission, because after you clear a map marker, you can just repeat the mission. They call it patrols, and you end up fighting enemies that are kind of, sort of, almost the same. I've been grinding AP there to unlock classes, and unlock the assassin and fucking Reaver and cool shit like that. I'm just trying to see what's out there.
I'm here.
A little addicted to that Trails of Cold Steel.
Hard to break away. That game is so story heavy.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that game like Final Fantasy Tactics 2?
Not really.
Or not? Okay, different kind of turn-based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard that game has a lot of fucking story in between its battle portions. Does NIS work with them?
Yeah, it used to be Xseed, but they went to NIS for publishing.
Alright, well, then we've got a bit of a story.
That's a good segue.
I'm just making sure so I didn't segue improperly, but according to reports from various Japanese news outlets and relayed through Twitter user HD Kirin, Nippon Ichi Software is in dire financial straits. The development and publishing company has been suffering for quite some time due to its poor sales of their titles in Japan. Now it seems due to debilitating issues surrounding their latest mobile title, Disgaea RPG, NIS can no longer afford to pay their employees. This is all from DualShockers, who one of the first major sites to report on it. Like, first place I saw this was actually in the RPG Gamer, or RPG Gamer Discord channel, and all they had was like a tweet to link to, and I was like, But I guess now the DualShockers is on it. In order to raise enough money to pay for the development staff's labor costs, NIS has resorted to a moving strike warrant. An MS warrant is a stock term, a method of raising funds that otherwise cannot be acquired through normal means of borrowing from banks or investors due to already being deficit. The company raises money by selling their stocks at a cheap price. Security companies profit greatly from buying said cheaper stocks, while that company's investors are ultimately the ones who lose the most, since the stocks they currently hold lose money and lead to the stock's overall decline. I don't know all that much about stocks, but depending on how many they sell, wouldn't this potentially open them up to buyouts and shit too? I guess it depends on how many they're selling and how many other people already own.
That's crazy, considering they've seemingly taken over like a few properties from other,
well,
like,
I mean,
publishers.
Maybe they were aggressively spending and those investments didn't pan out. Who knows? Japanese site Hanavi confirms that Disgaea RPG is the main cause for this last decline. that resulted in the company unable to pay wages. On March 19th of this year, the title, a collaboration effort between NIS and ForwardWorks, a subsidiary of Sony, began service. However, since that launch, the game had to undergo long-term maintenance due to its many and major issues and was taken down. Service has not been restored as of this writing. Naturally, as revenue cannot be gained from a game no longer available on the market, the company has no way to recoup their losses and pay the staff's salaries.
Oh.
Yeah, that... Hard to imagine they were in that dire financial straits that they were spending themselves into debt over a fucking mobile game. Aren't mobile games supposed to be, like, cheap and easy money?
I don't think they really spent themselves in a mobile game. I think it's just that they were banking a lot on the mobile game, and since they had to take it down, they couldn't bank on it.
Yeah, but I mean, still, like, I didn't think mobile games were supposed to be that significant of cost investments, and if they're going into this kind of debt because they developed a mobile game, that means they couldn't have had that much in the tank.
They are still a pretty small company.
I guess that's true. But yeah, that kind of sucks, because don't they also do localizations for Ys?
They did Ys 8.
Yeah, they did Ys 8.
That wasn't
They did it
exactly.
twice, actually.
I mean, yeah, it's probably not going to affect any of these games. It's just... Yeah... Well, hopefully Xseed still has capacity to do some shit, because
They know how to budget.
they might be picking up some contracts, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I'm a little worried now because I
Xseed
literally
is
just
also
bought
owned by Marvelous.
All right, yeah. And together they
What did you
make
buy?
Rebecca.
Oh, you
Or
bought
not
the
together,
Traveler's
but-
Day.
Doesn't Marvelous make
Yeah.
the Senran Kagura games?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, my biggest worries with NIS having these financial problems is Disgaea.
Yeah, well, when's the last time there's been a Disgaea game?
It's been a while, but they said they were in preliminary things working on Disgaea 6.
Yeah, I'd be very skeptical of that. If a mobile game put them fucking on the ropes... I mean, it's not like I expect a AAA RPG out of Disgaea 6. At the best, we'd see a AA RPG, which is fine, but those aren't necessarily cheap either, so... Eh. But anyways, Greg, Fell Seal. Final Fantasy Tactics like. You should check it out.
Was that what you're writing for?
Yep. Wishlist it. Get it when it goes on sale.
Oh, I really should.
I mean, maybe not, considering all the shit you just bought.
Well, that's Sekiro money. Finally got paid.
Oh, it took them a while, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
they're not fast.
One good thing about Neo
Apparently need
Seeker is
to
they just
sign
fucking pay
something
you.
and then- Yeah.
Yeah, Neo Seeker, they don't give a fuck. They're just like, here you go, here's your money. It's awesome. Over Katana Zero, they were like, alright, let's wrap this up and send us an invoice so we can pay you today. And I was like, that sounds like a good idea to me. Let's do that.
Y'all,
You guys all playing together?
Yeah.
yeah. Even have Jared.
Shit. So what are we doing here? Oh, are we going to Old Haven?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then why don't we go over there then? Here I'm killing weak-ass spider ants that are way too low of a level for me. Somebody just traveled to me, or... Is that even possible? Well, looks like a lot of JRPG studios are having a bit of a bad time. I could swear there was an update to this story. Ah, well, we'll go with it anyways. This is from RPG Site. When Hideo Baba resigned from studio... That's a great name, by the way. Last name Baba. I don't know. Resigned from Studio Istolia and Square Enix a few months ago. It put some uncertainty into the state of the studio, as well as Project Prelude Rune, a new RPG they had been working on. Although Baba had given way to junior staff in his statement of resignation, the Square Enix has yet to give any official statement of their own regarding the studio after his departure. Oh, we're at Old Haven right now. But today's discoveries might put the future of both the RPG project and Istolia itself into question. Studio Istolia's own Twitter account has ceased to exist. That's always a good sign. And attempting to access their official website will now automatically redirect to the homepage of the Square Enix Holdings website. Although Studio Istolia itself is currently listed under the group company's page, the corporate website link for it has been removed. Even the teaser trailer for the Project Prelude Rune has been... Okay, it's fucking done. Has been removed from Square Enix's official YouTube channel, which we linked to during its reveal last September. Yeah, if they took down the fucking trailer, it's done. There's no reason why they do that.
Didn't you update that story?
And it's done?
Yeah, it's pretty much they shut the studio down and everything.
Okay, yeah. They're not taking down that trailer unless it's done. That just made my Konami bell go off. Alright, I forgot how much these guys suck. Remember playing this the first time in on the Xbox 360, Rebecca?
Just now, when you said these guys suck, I was like, oh right, yeah, this place does suck.
But hey, if you want a bunch of shields you'll never use, this is a great place to pick them up.
Hate this place. I regret coming. We should do a different quest.
Oh. No, we shouldn't do this quest yet until we have, there's another quest where you have to turn off, like, beacons. We should go get that quest first.
The one that wait.
Oh, we already have that quest? Okay, good. Yeah, we're fine then. Well, I don't want to run through this shithole of a fucking place twice. And I think there's a claptrap here, but I can't remember. Do I still have that page open?
We have a thing to rescue a claptrap.
In here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rescue it, not a repair thing.
Well, whatever. Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
doing side quests, I guess, while you guys play.
Yeah, why aren't we doing side quests? Whatever, doesn't matter.
We are doing a side quest. Right now. There's also another one to pick up in here. So.
Not sure if anyone wants to... Yeah, probably not. So, Greg, what are you working on now?
Still Shovel Knight.
Oh, right.
That hasn't changed.
They have that on sale on PSN, and I think it's like $13.
Oh, that's a great price.
That seems like a good deal. It's kind of tempting, but...
Have you not played it?
Nope.
Oh. You should probably buy it for 13 bucks.
We'll see.
I mean, you could also get it physically.
Yeah, but that's more expensive.
It was definitely more expensive.
Look at that, you badass engineer. I don't know, I'm kind of digging this Fell Seal game after Katana Zero. They're like completely fucking different. One was all Twitch fucking action, and this is chill-ass turn-based. It's a nice juxtaposition. It's like getting a break after Katana Zero. Oh, that game almost fucking killed me.
These Trails of Cold Steel games are really good too.
Yeah.
And there's like it's a heavy on the story.
I just can't bring myself to
Third one's coming
spend
out
$50 on
very
them.
soon.
I've heard nothing but good things about him. And I was able to
Yeah,
get
well,
one on the
it's-
Vita for super cheap. Like, it was one of the games I was able to get for, I think it was $9, all things considered. I mean, it's
They have
pre-owned,
another
but
trilogy called Trails in the Sky. And then they have another trilogy called Trails of Heroes.
I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah, I played the Trail of Heroes games on the PSP. They were not that good. They really, like, Falcom really stepped up their game.
I'm doing nothing productive except running around and killing these Lance dudes.
That's productive.
I guess. Hey, never mind, I'm doing something productive. If I can find that. There we go. Turn off, you stupid thing.
I don't know where to pick up this quest. I'm on the roof, so maybe it's not up here.
On the roof? What quest?
No, there's a quest. Maybe it's underground.
Dauntless for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the store that shall not be named is launching on May 21st. It's free to play action RPG. Switch and smartphone versions also planned for release. I was right next to this motherfucking thing and I didn't fucking get it. Like, that's the thing that surprises me about this Fell Seal game, is it's on pretty much every system except the Switch. I'm just like, why? This is the one system that all these games, like, migrate to. I think you guys killed all these turrets. I hope. Maybe.
I'll have to start whatever quest this is. Yellow exclamation point. I don't know how to get to the wire.
Ow. Hey, Jared. Oh, I guess he's dead. I actually saw a really good thread written by a... are you the one who posted that, Jared? I think so. Yeah, let me go down to that. Yeah. Posted by a developer of Neverwinter Nights, I think. Talking about
No, just
Free-to-play games.
Neverwinter. The
Yeah,
MMO
sorry,
one.
Neverwinter. Yeah. Sorry, in my mind, there's only one Neverwinter, and that's Neverwinter Nights. Okay, let's close down this thing. There we go, and we only got the one left. So do I want to read from this guy? Actually, no, I found this enlightening. He's a guy who worked in the industry, so... I worked on Neverwinter, the free-to-play MMO that came out several years ago. Many free-to-play game systems are lifted directly from the gambling industry. So let me give you an idea of what supporting that means for video games, gamers, and developers. Loot boxes in games are a familiar topic for a lot of people, but they often discuss the wrong angle. Most gamers comment on how annoying they are, but few people address how harmful they are. Oh, I better kill this guy before I end up staring at a loading screen.
I'm where the marker says to go, but I don't see what I'm supposed to do.
What quest are you tracking?
The one where you shut down beacons.
Oh. I guess Ari's actually kind of close to me, huh?
Yeep.
I'll save you!
Thanks.
Hey, we're actually playing with 3 different classes this time.
Wow.
I know, aren't we diverse? Diversity is strength! Yay! Oh, there's a turret here. Oh, there's 2 turrets here. Oh, there's a bunch of bad guys here too. And I am running away. First, to deconstruct what a loot box is for those who don't do free-to-play games. It's a package you open that has a % chance you'll receive one of a number of cosmetic or gameplay-altering rewards when you open it. You pay for the privilege of opening the loot box. This pay-for-potential reward structure is lifted directly from casino gambling, slot machines in particular. In fact, most of the win rates and feedback systems for loot boxes are lifted directly from slot machine design. Here are some aspects that are similar. Pay-to-play, sound and visuals designed to heighten excitement and anticipation, low initial investment, high accessibility, intentionally stingy rewards, highly broadcast high-end rewards. Let's break these down. Pay-to-play means you're locked out of content until you drop some money, and that does some weird psychological things I'm not qualified to talk about. Regardless, it sets a barrier to entry, but it's designed to be low enough, penny slots anyone, that anyone can play. Oh, there's a guy behind us. You, stop being behind us and existing. Sound and visuals play a huge part in making loot boxes. They have a specific cadence built in which increases tension over a short time, and then they flash pretty lights and play exciting sounds. Slot machines perfected it, now video games cranked it up to 11. If slot machines perfected it, then how did video games crank it up to 11? Whatever, I'm being pedantic.
Quit questioning things.
You want to question something, it might as well be something worth questioning, right? These turrets have gots to go. There's one. You, turret, go. Well, if I knew they'd blow up that easily.
Yes.
Hey, don't you fucking swear on this podcast, young man.
Ah,
Yeah,
Shoot.
what the fuck?
darn it. Golly gee.
Where the hell are you? There you go. Swear, damn you! Ow.
Goddamn kids in it.
I'll
Fucking
save
power.
me! Low initial investment is incredibly important for gambling because it tricks your brain into thinking you're not spending much money, even if you end up spending dozens or hundreds in the end. This ties in well with the intentionally stingy reward cycle, which I'll get to. Now, where the hell are you? this dick up here. Okay. Now you just gotta find the stash, woman.
Yeah, we're not done here. You'll have to do the apartment district, which I don't... The map marker tells me where to go, but then it doesn't show me where to find the way to go, so I can't figure it out.
There are a fuck ton of badasses in 4-player mode. Let's see where this is.
Like, it tells me to go here, and where it tells me to go, but I don't see what I'm supposed to do.
And this is shutting down the smoke signals.
Yeah. I don't remember what the other things look like.
There it is.
Good.
No, that one's a bitch because you don't actually go to the map marker, because the map marker just takes you to the center of town, which is like generally where you're supposed to go.
Ah.
What you really need to do is look up in the air for the smoke signals and then track them down.
I didn't see any, so.
Anywho, accessibility in slot machines is walking up and popping a penny in, but accessibility in loot boxes is even more insidious. You spend time playing the game, you get a free taste, and then you have to pay to play once you get that initial adrenaline rush. Intentionally stingy rewards keep people coming back, and spending more money over time by constantly teasing the possibility of a greater reward. You see this with slots, and you see it with the possibility of winning a sweet new skin, only to end up with ugly poop. Highly broadcast high-end rewards are things like the bright flashing lights, loud bells, and other aspects of winning you see from slots. You get the same thing for free in video games because people want to show off their shiny loot, and they even make videos about it. That is true. So, what all these reward systems do is give you a trickle of excitement with the occasional punctuation of winning a little bit, and that system is incredibly addictive for many people. Let me give you a couple of examples. You hear about people with gambling addictions blowing thousands of dollars at a casino. These people get addicted to the risk-reward cycle of gambling. It literally makes their happy juices squirt into their brain. The exact same thing happens with loot boxes, and there are metrics. Those metrics aren't this person is spending X. No, when I was on Neverwinter, I heard a conversation about one of our highest spenders who was a single mother of 3 to 4 kids in Kentucky. The people making the game knew who this individual was and how much she spent monthly. That may not sound super terrible until you hear that this single mother was spending over $1,000 a month on in-game items. People knew her salary range, could literally stick a pin in a map with her physical address. It's important for people running these games to have metrics and info like this so they can tailor the experience to you. This is where video game loot boxes are actually more insidious than casino gambling. They don't just take your money, they tailor your personal experience. Companies who produce games with loot boxes tailor your experience so that the amount they make off of you is maximized. For example, or for most people this is pennies per month, but for some people they're literally tailoring the game to take advantage of your gambling addiction. The killer thing is that without whales, without the people with gambling addictions, these systems fail. If you've ever done any reading on how airline ticket pricing works, it's a similar business model. A small number of high spenders keep the whole thing afloat. I better stop reading and try to reach Jared. Oh, I could have reached you, I think. Oh well. Burn, you bastard. Oh, we're leaving? Okay.
Yeah.
So getting back to the Unity link, supporting the gambling industry is lucrative, but also incredibly unethical. You're supporting a system that is designed to literally, not figuratively, literally prey on the addictions of a relatively small number of people. All those talks at GDC a few years ago about monetization, preying on addictions. Loot boxes in Overwatch, Apex Legends, and Fortnite, preying on addictions. Monetization and marketing experts, preying on addictions experts. Interestingly, this is the same system Valve uses to exploit artists who make skins and items for Team Fortress 2 and Dota 2. A few lucky people get their items selected by a black box selection process, which strings others along to keep creating free content for them. They pay none of the labor involved in making skins for Dota characters, but reap 70% of all profits, which equates to millions of dollars per year. Good times. Anyway, this is why I will never work on another free-to-play game again, and this is why seeing Unity openly talk about how they're supporting the gambling industry makes me never want to touch Unity's tools again. And just to end this up, Unity had a tweet, which they deleted, but he screen capped and posted it again. Thank you, Unity. From Unity, we recently delivered our first release this year, Unity 2019.1, which includes 300 features, many of which are especially helpful for developers in the gambling industry.
Oh, fuck me.
Right? A little on the nose, right? So, yeah.
They just don't give a shit, do they?
Jared, what class mod do you use?
Right now I have a Ranger model.
What does that do?
No, I mean, I have a Hunter one. It's blood, wind damage, and then a bunch of skills.
You're selling a purple one. Team health regen and team damage. Don't know how that strikes your fancy, but... Nope. So... I knew there was a reason I didn't like free-to-play games, but god damn it if this doesn't underline it, right? And it varies a bit between games. Like, I don't know if you can actually buy loot boxes in Path of Exile. I didn't really look that much. I think it's skeevy enough to sell like inventory space, but a lot of the shit they seem to sell you, I'm sure they sell various gems and you know, customization items, but I don't know. Definitely not good shit. It's gonna make me think extra hard about buying any game with loot boxes. And yeah, there's some developers that kind of have scaled it back to degrees because I think they know where this is going and they want to get plausible deniability up front, but you got other developers who are being pretty bad with it. And who knows, maybe in 20 years when we guillotine some politicians and get a real government in place, we might be able to regulate these fuckers a bit. But until then, I mean, it's just... Consumers might have to stand up for themselves just a little bit. I have historically low faith in that happening. But we'll see. And as an example of some of the savvy developers, I'm thinking off the top of my head of Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed, because, like, you can buy microtransactions, and I think you can buy, like, different types of currency in the game, and you can use that to buy chests, which are essentially gambling. Like, they are loot boxes. But notice that you have to go the extra step of buying the... Jesus Christ. Dropping these relics all over the place. You have to go the extra step of buying the currency to buy the chest instead of just... I could be wrong. They might actually just sell the chests. It's been a while since I've played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I will kind of defend it a little bit because I played Odyssey and Origins without spending a dime of in-game money. But apparently that's not the point. Apparently developers count on people like me to be intelligent and go, fuck this shit. I'll just play the game an extra fucking 15 minutes and get what legendaries I may. So instead of me being a smug jackass and going, well, I don't buy that shit anyways, they know that. It's not me they're preying on, it's
never you they're preying on. It's not the point.
I mean, it's somebody they're preying on. They just...
Yeah, but they've accounted for you.
Yeah, the model is not to be exploitative to everybody.
They're looking for the people who are addicted to
They
gambling.
are, yes, they are. They're putting out bait, and you're not going to catch every fish with that bait, but they'll hook someone. So, yeah, that should really make you think twice about supporting the free-to-play model, which, since I already detest it, isn't that hard for me to do, but... and this is kind of why I've always looked leery at mixing monetization models and in-game progress in any way, shape, or form. And a lot of the reason for that is just because I'm paranoid that they're going to fuck with the game mechanics to make them less enjoyable until I open my wallet, which I think is inarguable that games have done that at this point. But yeah, this is another layer to consider. Another layer of exploitation. Especially when you have developers of one of the fucking most ubiquitous game engines out there openly flaunting how their fucking game helps fucking gambling systems. Or how their engine helps gambling systems. That's a real fucking bad look, Unity, and if we actually had a government that was worth half a fucking shit sandwich, they'd regulate this stuff. They'd regulate it quick and, yeah, unequivocally.
The second you say your system is promoting gambling, the government should have their eyebrows raised.
They should be like, oh, your system assists gambling, and your engine was used to make all these fucking kids games. Okay.
Interesting.
And see,
Fascinating.
one of the things that I also don't want a nanny state, because I fucking hate that too. Like, I wouldn't want to live in Australia where they're fucking censoring games for me so I can't fucking get them there. But on the other hand, I don't know, I don't want to have one somebody please think of the children moment. But...
But there needs to be a police...
But there does need to be a someone think about the children moment, and the dickhead part of me wants to go, yeah, and that person should be their parents, but there are a lot of fucking failed parents out there. Yeah, their parents are too busy fucking spending money on Neverwinter to fucking monitor what their kids are playing, apparent fuckingly.
Yeah, see?
So...
Apparent fuckingly.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
That's so bad.
Thanks for catching that. I submitted something for an RPG Gamer article earlier, and just basically talking about the shit we're playing right now, and I talked about how when I heard about Saints Row 3 for the Switch, I started paying attention, and when they announced that there was some swag for buying it from GameStop, my wallet opened of its own volition, and like, I intended that pun, but I didn't intend this one, so guess I can't be on the ball all the time. Get it, Rebecca?
It's pretty bad.
I thought it was funny. It's a clever sort of writing people pay for.
So... When are you moving back in with your parents?
When am I what?
Moving back in with your parents.
They don't have internet, so never. You're just gonna have to put up with me until they expand the internet coverage in this state.
I have regrets.
Yeah, you should. You moved to fucking Tennessee. What the fuck is wrong with you? At least the roads here are good, though. Roads here are much better than in Pennsylvania. You got to admit that.
Shit, you crossed the Kentucky fucking border.
Well,
and
we're
it's
talking
like-
about Tennessee, not fucking Kentucky.
My point is, even their neighbors have shitty roads.
Right?
Tennessee finds some way to fucking fix their roads. And the thing is, like, they have the wheel tax, right? In Tennessee. But it
At least
costs
you can
more to
see where the
regis-
money goes.
It costs more to register your car in fucking Kentucky.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Well, it's Tennessee has the Hope Scholarship, too. I don't think Kentucky has anything like that. I mean, Tennessee stole the Hope Scholarship from Georgia. Which is fine, because it's a good idea.
I don't think I can get to New Jersey without dying.
I don't know what are we doing?
I don't know. Queen Abdomen Swamp?
Yeah, we gotta kill Queen Tarantella.
Okay, well, I'm just fighting random spider ants, and that's a waste of my time, so.
Yeah. Nobody's surprised.
Square Enix's 2019 plans include a new IP. Square Enix has released its financial results for the 2018 fiscal year, and it includes plans the publisher has for the future. Part of that strategy involves the release of new franchises and one-off titles. Square Enix has said it intends to aggressively invest in new IP on an ongoing basis. See, like, if this was 15 years ago, that'd be pretty exciting to read. One, because Square Enix was at the top of their game. And two, because you didn't have to sit here and go, do they mean a real game or a mobile game?
Or which one's going to bring them more money with the new gambling suite they can put in?
Well, if you're NIS, apparently not fucking mobile games, so... This is from PlayStation Lifestyle, by the way. Of course, as these are brand new titles, we can't tell exactly what kinds of ideas Square has up its sleeves. The financial report also mentions that it is planning on regular releases of AAA titles, so we should expect Square to invest heavily in at least some of these new brands. So, I'm guessing another Tomb Raider 4. Yeah, guys, we're not even in the right area for this quest. Come on now, we need Greg in here to fucking keep us on track.
We're doing the
Oh,
quest
never
right
mind. My fucking
now.
counters or map markers aren't working. Never mind. I blame.
We are killing
Rebecca.
Queen Terra, whatever the fuck, right
Okay.
now.
Well, no wonder I can't find
I
anything.
guess the giant spider ant didn't register with Nathan.
What giant spider ant? They're all giant spider ants.
It was like way bigger. What the fuck
Was
is-
I even
where's
near
his
it?
ass go? Where's her ass?
There's something else related. Right.
Oh, there it is.
This is from Push Square, kind of adding on to that story. If Square Enix's latest financial report is anything to go by, Final Fantasy VII Remake in 2019 seems unlikely. It's pointed out by WCCF Tech. The company has cut its sales and operating income forecast for fiscal year 2020. This suggests that the publisher isn't planning on releasing any blockbusters between now and March 2020. So much for continually investing in new IPs and AAA games. And that includes the still mysterious Avengers project. Previously, the same forecast pushed the idea that Square Enix was expecting big things this fiscal year, but that's obviously not the case anymore. Well, that changed fast. In other words, it's entirely possible that Final Fantasy VII Remake has been delayed beyond its intended 2019 or early 2020 release. Anyone want to register some shock?
Meh.
Nomura project got delayed.
Has he ever been on one that funny?
Jeez, fucking Nomura. See? He lasted a week. Grace lasted a week. Allie, you're just fucking bitching about it because you're not going to get to play it because you only own a PC. What the f... Oh, we have to sink boats. We also need to do that quest where we have to blow up fish.
Yeah, they were in the same place.
Final Fantasy
I don't
VII
know
is
which-
not overrated. It is the
A
best
little
Final
bit.
Fantasy game ever made.
It is a bit.
Oh, fuck you both, you Final Fantasy VI lovers. There are two types of people in the world. People who like Final Fantasy VII better, and people who are wrong. What Final Fantasy games have you played, Allie? We can all agree that Final Fantasy VII is better than 8, right? Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will turn this podcast around.
Hard to argue. You gotta turn it around. Where are we going?
Apparently off a fucking cliff. Sitting here hemming and hawing about Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
I will brook no debate on that subject. I just got done with that fucking orphanage scene. Fucking garbage. Anywho.
Hey, you're the one writing for it, right?
I am writing for it. I mean, like,
That's
As
mean
a-
it's good.
as an author, well, no, as an author, like, I find the systems and all the customization and RPG elements, I find them fine. Very intricate, fun to write about, fun to detail and shit, but
So Greg, you've played Final Fantasy 9, right?
Yeah.
Chocobo Hot and Cold.
Yeah. It's pretty fun.
rest comment.
Quit.
Fuck off! Goddamn chocobos. Where the hell is that? I can't remember the name of that.
You know, plus 9 doesn't just have a brooding protagonist for no fucking reason.
Creatures.
Doesn't even know what the
Get out
fuck
of the
he
thing
is or
and
came
work over
from. Well, no, yeah, 9, he has no idea who he is or where he came from. But
Oh, Jesus Christ!
he's not all brooding about it.
Swing and a miss there, Greg.
That was pretty bad. he's not all brooding and like.
At least
edgelord
The
about
Witcher
it.
doesn't have a fucking tired-ass amnesia plot point. Oh, man. I don't know. I'm okay with the amnesia plot line, even though it's fucking tired and incredibly cliche. If it's actually used well, if it's just used to reveal, you're the Prince of Buthulia, fuck off, I don't care. Like, Planescape Torment, I will defend the amnesia plotline in that until I am blue in the face, because god damn it does that pay off. The Witcher, I will defend it in that too, because who the fuck knew anything about The Witcher before the game came out? Like, just dispense with all the backstory and let us learn the lore with Geralt. I wouldn't really call Cloud an amnesiac.
What?
He's not. He thinks he knows shit. He's just full of shit.
He's just wrong.
Wait. Why didn't that blow it up? Oh.
Like a forced amnesiac.
Yeah, more like a fucking little lying piece of shit.
Different areas to blow.
Oh, okay. The game's just not fucking track. God, I keep forgetting that this game on multiplayer doesn't track right. So yeah.
Doesn't track right at all.
No, so I'm sitting here like, did it not count me blowing these fish out of the water? It probably did, and then I just... Whatever. Change it to the ship blowing up one. There you go.
I just did. Oh my
I didn't know you were doing it, woman. Chill out. The Final Fantasy VIII amnesia plot? No, I do not accept that whatsoever. There was no goddamn reason for it. It had no payoff. It just utter bullshit.
Yeah, and plus it wasn't like it was one person.
Yeah, it was like everybody except fucking Renoa. Oh no, Irvine too. Irvine didn't have a problem with it. And the real thing that pisses me off is it never matters again after that. Like, it actively goes out of its way to subvert the relationships with these characters. Now, if Cloud had actual amnesia, that would have been shitty, but that he has, because he has, like, Tifa around and he's kind of got this altered reality version of what actually happened.
mental status, but it's not amnesia.
No, it's not amnesia, it's, I don't even know what to define it. Psychologist, tell us what it is. Bullshit-tesia. I don't like reality, so fuck it.
Somebody raise me.
I got you.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you wearing on your head, Jared? Is it like a tinfoil
Tinfoil
hat?
That's one of the options for the hunter, yeah.
That's nice.
I did it on mine too. Coming, Jared.
I will say that fanboyism aside, Final Fantasy X is probably the best Final Fantasy. I will allow that one, Allie. Even though it's not my favorite.
Oh, well. Since I'm here, I might as well raise already.
Oh, thank you, Rebecca.
And Tactics is clearly
Died
the
at
best.
19.
That doesn't count as a Final Fantasy game.
Clearly.
But it was really good. And I do wish they would give us another one. I don't really know why the fuck they don't.
Oh, it's all the way over there.
Oh. Final Fantasy X-2 I will not defend, considering it shits all over the lore of Final Fantasy X. But people tell me the gameplay is really good, so... whatever that's worth.
You should do 10-2 100% in one playthrough.
Is that even possible?
Yes.
Oh.
You have
about-
to be very strict.
How about new? Like, 2 playthroughs seems way more fucking sensible. Just from a, I don't want to fucking kill myself halfway through this game.
I disagree. You want to get that shit over with.
Yeah, but after you go through the first time, how hard is everything else? Well, I'm gonna have to play it for RPG Gamer, so I'll be playing it here eventually. You still play Minecraft, Ellie? Minecraft was so 2012.
Didn't we platinum
We
Minecraft?
played
not
it more
long ago?
recently. than
Yeah, but that was for a plat. No, I'd totally play Minecraft again if.
Speaking of Minecraft,
Oh.
it's it's the best soul game of all time now.
Yeah. Just kind of a shame that the fucking developer of it's such a fucking cunt waffle.
Ex-developer.
Well, he still made it.
came up with
It's not his baby anymore, though, so that's fair. I mean,
It sold 176 million.
Jesus Christ, that's not even close to number 2. Like, isn't number 2 Grand Theft Auto 5?
No, they list Tetris as number 1.
Oh well, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, what do they count? Like Tetris Effect in there too? What
Oh,
does
probably.
every spin-off count?
Probably.
Well, that's not fair then. That's some bullshit. No, I'd definitely platinum Minecraft again, but I can't bring myself to spend $20 on it.
what, for the PlayStation 3, it has a separate list?
No, let me see exactly. I have no idea.
And this
Oh,
is how
right.
you get them to do it.
How you get me to do what?
You
Actually,
have
it
them-
has
It starts with them looking into it.
3 trophy lists. PS4, PS3, and Vita.
Wow.
Yeah. So if we could find it for cheap on the PS3, I mean, you know. I would be happy to let Greg do most of the work.
That's probably how that would work.
did a lot. Too.
What did we do? We went through that. I did a lot of the digging. Rebecca did a lot of the farming. Greg went and got the dyes. And Greg and I went to that... Fuck, what was that place? The Nether? Can't remember what it was called.
We all did that.
Yeah, but it was you and me who did it first. Follow me.
Well, you guys kind of found it accidentally. So.
No, Greg found it and was like, let's do this. Greg looked it up. It was no accident. And I was like, couldn't get you and Jared to go. Hey, don't travel.
Why?
Damn it, get over here. We got
Why?
a trophy to get, you weirdos.
Oh, is there a flap back here?
No, but there's another trophy. Yeah, I didn't know there was 3 trophy lists from Minecraft. Hello?
Uh-oh. Okay, so where the fuck are you guys that this trophy?
You have to come to me, whichever one I am.
I have no idea how
A little bit of a shame that they didn't put Minecraft on sale for its anniversary.
Oh, you're like way at the end of the pier.
Jump on the boat, bitches. Well, there's a $16 copy of Minecraft. I'm not sure I want
Are
to
you
pay.
looking up retail prices?
I'm looking it up on eBay.
They don't have it digital for cheaper?
No, it's $20 digital. Like I think
I'd rather buy one than pay $20.
Yeah. Well, if you don't need the case, you can get it for 10. Jesus, we're not that bad, are we?
Not right now. Check again in like a month or so.
Right now my horn is somewhat satisfied.
Right now, what?
It's like right now
Ow.
my horn is somewhat satisfied.
Well, it's not like Minecraft is an easy That's not hard. It's just, it takes some work.
It takes fucking time.
Nah, I'd
Why
rather
is there
buy
a
that.
boat here?
I'd rather buy that Trails of Cold Steel. Jump on the boat.
Don't forget the boat trophy while you're there.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting them
Yeah.
to do. Rebecca almost running off without it.
You're on a boat.
There we go. Yeah, Trails of Cold Steel.
So all like that's it?
Yep, that's it. Just jump on a boat. I've heard good things about it, and I have it on the Vita, and I haven't played it yet.
I think that was one of the stupidest trophies.
And they have it
I've only
on.
played like the prologue.
What's that, Jared?
I've only played like the prologue
Oh.
on the Vita.
I mean, I'd play it on the PS TV, but whatever. And I was thinking about getting it on the PS4 because, you know, if I have to seriously play it, you know, why not play it on the PS4? But apparently, it's got the same trophy list on the PS3, PS4, and Vita, so that makes me less inclined to buy it, even though it'll be better on the PS4. But they're selling it for a cheaper price on eBay. The UK version, which has a different trophy list, so it's like, well, might be able to two birds that motherfucker there. So
That's a long platinum.
I didn't say it wasn't, just something to keep in mind. Yes, Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. And yeah, those games are on Steam. It's just, you know, Steam is almost never going to win if I have a PlayStation option. Although I did shamefully buy a guide game on Steam when I could have gotten it on GOG, but when it comes to writing guides, I do find it simpler to use Steam's overlay and just screenshot from that. I know, I think GOG can do screenshots too, but they did in a way I didn't necessarily like. I didn't like the system for that. Like, with Steam, I can just mash F11 and get a whole bunch of screenshots, even if it's a relatively quick game, so... okay, so we did everything here. Awesome. And, we had an anniversary recently. The Witcher 3 is 4 years old today. And in my opinion, it is still the game of the generation. And that's not to say there haven't been some close contenders. Some people on my page were somewhat insinuating that it had run away with this generation. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think Dragon Quest XI was reasonably close, but I'm still giving my game of the generation credit to The Witcher 3 for now.
I was trying to help you move along.
I know. Anyone else have any other game of the generation picks? Like, Greg, you said you preferred Persona 5 over Dragon Quest XI. So if Persona 5 isn't your game of the generation so far, I don't know what the fuck.
Well, I haven't beat Witcher 3 either, so I probably can't really weigh in.
I haven't beaten Persona 5. It's just, if the game didn't really grip you enough so that you would have beaten it, it's probably not your game of the generation. Well, then again, who knows? Maybe the narrative picks up or something.
Motherfucker!
Do you get run over by someone?
No, my character
Damn.
fucking bounced and fucking fell off the ledge.
Oh. That'll happen.
That was shitty.
Jared, what's your game of the generation so far?
I'm not sure.
Ah. Forcing people to think. Like, there were 3
How dare
games
you
that...
force people to think.
Well, actually, there were 4 games this generation that once I started playing, I really couldn't stop. And The Witcher 3 is one of them, but that's not really fair. I was writing a guide for it, so kind of my job to keep playing that one. Fallout 4 to a lesser extent. I probably could have stopped if I wanted to. Fortunately, I didn't do the end parts of that game until I was, well, like the last 3 days of the guide before the due date. Jesus, that was a fucking grind. So I got all my anger at that game in the last 3 days. But the other 3 besides The Witcher 3 were Nier, Dragon Quest XI, and Stardew Valley. Those are games that once I started playing them, I was just like, I must defeat this game.
Yeah, there are games that once you start playing, there's nothing else you can do.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say there's nothing else. Like, I use Dragon Quest XI as release valve while working on the absolute shittiest shit parts of Pathfinder, but that was a really long game that I nonetheless found the drive to finish, despite my backlog, so... I kind of think any legitimate game of the generation candidate will probably fall into that camp where you just... once you start, you can't stop. But who knows, maybe there are games that get off to a slow start and then, you know, you fall in love with them later. You're a huge fan of Pathfinder. The game, Allie, you and I are going to fucking fight. Speaking of which, since Allie's poking the bear...
It's a pretty big dumb bear, though.
Pretty what?
You're a pretty big dumb bear, though.
I'm not that big. I'm more rotund. I do scratch my back on the doorway to the kitchen, though, so yeah, that's pretty bear-like. Where is this story at? Yes, okay. This story is from Kotaku. And this is going to allow me to do my second favorite thing on this podcast. The first favorite thing being bitch about Final Fantasy 15. And that is bitch about Pathfinder. The article is from Kotaku, from Jason Schreier to be more specific, who has been on a roll with his articles lately. He's been doing really good shit, and it almost seems like on a weekly basis he's writing a story that is worth discovering in some detail. And this time his story is How Final Fantasy IX Strategy Guide Turned Out So Horrible.
Oh, this is an old story. This has to be a repost or some shit.
A former Brady Games and Prima Guide author, what's his name, Doug Walsh, published a book called The Walkthrough, Insider Tales from a Life and Strategy Guides. And the article is frankly mistitled. Like, it's clickbaity and it loses the plot with that title. It really should be Why Official Guides Suck. I think that'd be more accurate to the content of the article, and also clickbaity enough, but that's just my opinion. I'm not a professional game journalist, so what would I fucking know? You know, except from how to hit an enemy with a gun on a fucking first-person shooter, but I digress. Or, Jared, how to do a jump dash. That will never get old. And basically, he went through this article talking about, you know, how official guides are put together, and I might not have paid so close of attention to this article a year ago, but after Pathfinder, I found myself really agreeing with a lot of the things this guy said. And I posted a lengthy-ass Facebook post about it, so I really shouldn't go into all the detail about shit here. Suffice to say, people might be surprised when it comes to writing official guides just how little shits the developer gives about the guide until it comes to bitching about something via editorial control that they don't like. That I did experience. But otherwise, you're usually getting very little contact with the developer and relatively little help. And I will say that with Pathfinder, they did give us a few resources which were pretty helpful. Like, they gave me a list of dialogue trees where they would show the branching paths of the dialogues you could take and the checks and skills that would unlock them. Not necessarily some of the things you needed to do much earlier in the game. Like, it would show global triggers, but if you were in Chapter 6 and you were dealing with a quest that started in Chapter 2 and required, you know, you to take some various actions early on and had some different global variables or triggers, you wouldn't necessarily remember those triggers and shit. So it didn't really help in the long term, but just being able to see how different things could play out, you were usually able to piece together when the choice was made and what the choice involved and go look back and confirm it. And that was super fucking helpful. I will give credit for that. They also gave us some art assets to use, basically high-res art assets for some of the character designs, which ended up in that guide. But other than that, they got a guy from Paizo to bitch and moan about the intro to that guide. You know, he didn't like some things I said, like, apparently you can't disparage Wizards of the Coast. I don't fucking work for Paizo. Hey, go fuck yourselves. I don't care. Wizards of the Coast fucking sucks. But, you know, it's just shit you have to put up with. And, like, we've all written intros for guides. How much fucking thought do you put into those? That's usually just shit you do that you put off for 3 fucking weeks. And
I sit there debating for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I sit there debating for 20 minutes, but eventually it's just like 4 fucking interchangeable sentences that don't really matter. It's just, how do I want to word this shit? Because That's one of the things that stumps me the most about writing guides is when I have to write a synopsis for the game in the fucking intro, and it's like, how do I succinctly fucking detail a fucking 400-hour game involving a goddamn witcher? You are a witcher and you kill monsters. Yay! For me, anyways.
Kill monsters and fuck all the minions.
For me, anyways, it's a painful afterthought. It's just one of those things that has to be put in there, but you don't really sit there and...
I don't know. I kind of enjoy telling people this is my 16th Castlevania guide. This is my 17th Castlevania
Oh, well,
guide.
Jesus Christ. Well,
This is my
yeah.
18th
When you're writing
Castlevania
for
guide.
GameFAQs and there's no one that's doing editorial control and you can just write your life story at the beginning of each guide, it's probably different, but...
What's
when-
this editorial control you speak of?
When you're trying to sell something and your intro is going to be one of the main things that, aside from the name and brand of the game itself, of course, sells people on the guide. So you have to be succinct so it all fits and isn't going to scare people off by having to read too many words. I know that's surprising. People buying a guide don't want you to be too wordy in the intro, and you have to hit the high points, and there's a lot of fat you need to cut in these intros when you're putting them out on an ebook store, and you also have to say what's in your guide so people know that, you know. And one of the things that I always didn't like is at Gamer Guides they wanted the intro done relatively early, and it makes sense because they wanted to list the guide for pre-orders, and you can't have a blank fucking intro. But it's also like, yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm going to promise to do for this guide yet, so I don't want to list shit that I might later go, fuck this segment of the guide. I'm not going to do it. It doesn't really help that
I'm
much.
pretty
It's
sure
just
you
video.
made me do all our intros.
All one of them?
All two of them.
I'm pretty sure I did the Fallout intro.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think I did. Assault and Sanctuary you did because you were talking with the developers and going to get them to blurb something, I think. And Time Spinner I honestly don't remember, so if you say you did it, I'll believe you because I don't have a clue who did that.
Totally did it.
I mean, Wizards of the Coast is fine, but like I think it's almost objective to say that Paizo based a business structure on people hate new Dungeons and Dragons, at least some segments of the Dungeons and Dragons audience, and some people just want 3.5 edition in perpetuity with very minor tweaks. And I mean, if somebody says that's not exactly what Pathfinder is, they're fucking lying. Because that's all Pathfinder is Dungeons and Dragons 3.75 edition. That's all it is. But apparently Paizo doesn't like it when you say that. I mean, yeah, it tweaks and improves it, and one of the few things that is better about the Pathfinder game that I liked is how they combined and bundled up a lot of skills. And that's one of the things that always made me dislike, to a certain extent, 3rd edition video games, is they would use like the full list of 3rd edition fucking skills, and it's... I'm a bit of a RPG wonk, but when you're starting out a game fresh and they have like, 30 different fucking skills and 8 of them are fucking crafting skills, it's like, is craft armor ever going to pan out? Like, if I pick this skill and flush down a bunch of skill points into it, am I going to get like mithril at some point and be able to make mithril armor a badassness that I couldn't just find or buy? And if I can't do that,
Right.
then fuck this
No,
skill.
that's completely fair, because if I pick craft armor and I can't access the best armor in the fucking game with that skill that I invested into, it is worthless.
Well, there's the thing. Some games don't let you do that. So,
Bad game design. What can you say?
And, like, you know, there are a lot of useless skills, like instrument perform skills and shit. Oh, why am I fighting a unique enemy? Like, not all skills. Anyone listening to this, all three of you, two of which are probably us, and whoever listens to this afterwards. So anywhere between 0 and 80 people. If you can find me a game where that's based on 3rd edition, any version of 3rd edition, where you have a whole bunch of skills and all of them or most of them are useful, maybe not in fair relation to each other, but so much so that you don't feel like you wasted skill points by investing in something. Like, if knowledge religion, knowledge arcana, fucking stealth, all those skills are good and useful, let me know. I want to see that game.
This is why Shadowrun is a little better. They've streamlined all the skills and there's a place for everything.
Yeah, Pathfinder Kingmaker did that too, but that wasn't something... Like, the Pathfinder system itself doesn't do that. That was just a convenience for the game, and I did find that a convenience. There were only ever 2 CRPGs using the 3rd edition rule set to my collection. No, you're wrong right there. I can name more than 3 off the top of my head. Icewind Dale 2, Neverwinter Nights 1 and 2, and Temple of Elemental Evil. All use 3rd edition. There might be more, but I know those 3 did. And I guess now we can technically count Pathfinder, because Pathfinder Kingmaker is 3rd edition. And can you imagine if Owlcat Games got anybody else to write that guide for them? Like, I'm the motherfucker who did Baldur's Gate 2. I've been playing fucking 3rd edition D&D for a long time. If I didn't know those rules like the back of my fucking hand and was still trying to slog through their buggy-ass fucking broken game, that would have been twice the debacle it was. Like, the fact that I could jury-rig a functional guide and party out of that project to get to the end of the game, yeah, it's... I'm not sure how many authors would have been able to do that, because you kind of need the background in Dungeons and Dragons to know what the fuck you're doing, to be able to navigate that. Yeah, both Neverwinter Nights games were 3rd edition, I believe. I think the first Neverwinter Nights game was the first 3rd edition game. And if I recall my gaming history, Baldur's Gate 2 came out right around the time that 3rd edition was releasing, so much so that BioWare was familiar with it. I think they had contact with, I don't know if it was TSR at the time or Wizards of the Coast officially, but they were able to learn a little bit about the 3rd edition and work some of the elements into Baldur's Gate 2, and that's why we got high-level abilities and shit. So, and I think some of the classes, like, I think they eventually moved Sorcerer in there. That's why you had so many weird classes in Baldur's Gate 2. Right, you're right. Icewind Dale 2 was the first. Icewind Dale 2 was the first. The forgotten game whose code has been lost. That's such a fucking travesty.
Yeah.
Oh, well. What can you do? But, yeah, this story goes on, and in case you're wondering what editorial control is, Square Enix was doing that play online shit with a Final Fantasy IX guide, and they really, really, really wanted that put in everywhere. And the guy who wrote this book, the guy who Jason Schreier was interviewing, apparently didn't work on the Final Fantasy IX guide, and I'm not sure you could find anyone who would openly say they worked on it anymore. But I'll just give him the benefit of the doubt and believe him. He said they knew that people were going to be pissed off, but Square Enix was, I think, contractually able to pretty much have final say over what went in the guide, so What he thinks happened is that most of the guide was done, and they just had to cut it apart and put a lot of it on Play Online, because that's what Square Enix wanted to
They were trying
push.
to sell that Play Online thing hard. Like, in order to play Final Fantasy 11, you had to go through their Play Online system.
Oh, right! Fucking Pool of Radiance was 3rd edition. I totally forgot about that fucking thing. Yeah, so there's at least 5 Pool of Radiance, or 3rd edition games. I mean, I'm not sure there's been a single 3rd edition game that wasn't attenuated in some form. I don't think there's any one of them that had every single skill and or feat, but... Yeah, Pool of Radiance, the later one, is a game that my dad actually bought new. It might be the last game he bought on a whim when we were at the mall. This was back when I was still in high school, I think. And he bought it, I think it was Babbage's still at the time, yeah. He saw it on the shelves and was like, Pool of Radiance? And the the cashier to the store worker was like, oh yeah, they remade it. And my dad got like... That's one of the games he played back in the fucking day. That was the first game I ever played on the Tandy 1000, was Pool of Radiance, so obviously he had to fucking buy it. And in retrospect, the cashier was probably trying to warn us not to. He was like, well, just so you guys know, it's very different from the original. Boy, was he fucking right.
I don't know where we're supposed to be at.
It says on the quest list where these quests are, woman.
It says Salt Flats, but I don't have that, so
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know how to get to the Salt Flats. But it's saying to go back to Roscommon East.
That's a game you need to add to your Nintendo collection, Greg. The Nintendo version of Pool of Radiance. Make it happen.
Like NES?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should do it. I know I don't have it. I have some of the Ultimate games.
How much do those cost? Oh, $30.
Yeah, it's not too bad, I guess. But it's horrible, right?
There's... I don't know. I've never played that version, but... given the limitations of a computer from the late 80s, I can't fathom that game being anything less than a complete train wreck on the NES. Okay, Allie says it was. Allie says it sucked. So... I will trust her opinion on that matter, and there's just no way. Like, our Tandy 1000 took 4 hours to fucking install that game. There's no way it ran on the NES well.
Well, it probably ran. Probably didn't run very good.
He said 12.
I think it was very attenuated and simplified. Like, those sorts of games just had way more options than the NES could handle. And you got to think back in the day with when you're limited basically to the ROM on a cartridge. The amount of spells, effects, races, classes, all the calculations you have to do, there's only so much that are fitting on a Nintendo cartridge. It's mind-boggling to think that they tried to make games in that vein on the fucking Atari. So yeah, official guides suck. It's a nice feather on my cap, but I have to say, if I had to go back and do it again, I would have written a guide for fucking Pillars of Eternity 2 instead. The Owlcat Games staff were, like, they were pretty fucking cool. I really can't complain about them. And considering the development hell they were probably going through, I can't really fault them for being like, fuck this, fuck this guide and these guys over here. We got to work on getting this game floating. So it's hard for me to be too pissy about, the fact that we kind of got fucked around because they have their own shit to do. But as far as I know, everybody got paid. The guide went up. We had no business working on it, I think, until September. And even then, the guide wasn't fucking completable until the beginning of this year. So that was 4 or 5 months I could have spent doing anything else, and it would have been more productive, honestly. But I got paid, as far as I know. Gamer Guys got paid. Owlcat got a guide. Just the birthing process was less than ideal. And I would not do another official guide again unless I had very specific fucking assurances of how things would go. Like, I think if I had to write another official guide, I would have I'm dropping this until you fixed your game clause. At any time, if I judge your game is too fucking broken to continue writing, I will inform you and say, I will work on your our game again when your game is fixed. That just has to be something that's in there. Just beating my head against the fucking wall over and over and over again and restarting the game 4 fucking times because every major fucking version of the game wasn't compatible with, your old saves and changed everything anyway, so you had to fucking rewrite it. That's just no. It's a waste of my time. Don't do it. I mean, honestly, from an author's perspective, it's just better to wait until the game is out on the market. Because even those aren't fucking finished half the time. I mean, reading that Kotaku article, I can totally see why physical guides are pretty much dead. And, yeah, I mean, you don't have to be a brain genius to figure that out. But all the reasons we guessed why they would be dead are basically the reasons why they're dead. It's just... You spend 4 weeks working on a fucking game that's broken when it launches, and then everything is changed by patches within 2 weeks. Your guide's a fucking paperweight. Who the fuck is buying that? And apparently some people do because they like the pretty pictures, but apparently it's not enough of an audience. And Prima and Brady were apparently buying licenses. Like, they were paying for the privilege of writing this shit. Mind-boggling.
Non-compete clauses.
Yeah, well, I think in the article it said that one of the things they paid for was the privilege of having their guide be called the only official one. And you know what? I've written an official guide, and that term is worth dog shit. Nothing.
Yep.
Absolute garbage. If you are sold by a guidebook that says official on it, you are a fucking rube of the highest order. There will be something better on GameFAQs within fucking 2 or 3 months. Well, maybe not GameFAQs anymore, but GameFAQs in the past when they had enough authors and people actually had passion.
Yeah, there was a time.
There was a time. I should just be more generic. You will find better info on the interwebs. But hey, at least I have that notch on my belt so I can make the hollow fucking claim that I wrote an official guide. There we go.
Well, Time Spinner's official. You may not realize it, but totally official.
By what criteria? The developers say, yeah, it's official.
I mean, Bodhi said I would be the official guide writer for the game.
Ah, well, there you go. We've got 2 official guides. Awesome. See, I could have
Granted,
just...
that was like way before the game came out.
There you go. So check out Neoseeker's Time Spinner Guide for the official Time Spinner Guide, written by BK Stunt and Haravon.
Yeah, I should probably get with him at some point. I've been very lazy.
Write a forward, say, make it legitimate. Get them to make us a banner that says official guide. I'll put that on top.
Oh boy.
Yeah. See, we're in the big leagues now.
Hey, Jared. Was my driving good enough for us to complete that portion of the quest? Or am I such a terrible driver that, like, we didn't do that?
What are you
With
talking
awesome
about?
teamwork.
It was good.
What are you talking about, crazy woman?
Well, fuck you, Greg.
I mean, he's just placating you. You realize that?
No, we did an awesome job. That was like A+ teamwork there.
Oh, okay, Bandit Patrols.
I mean, I didn't see it, so it must not exist.
I'd basically call your Baldur's Gate guides to be the official guides because they're far and away the best guides for those games anywhere. See, I mean, I want to take the fucking praise and run with it, but compared to my new standards for guides, I don't know. I just imagine what those guides would be if I rewrote them today and they had media, and I'm not going to hang my hat on them. I desperately want to have another shot at those when the Infinity Engine games come to console. Like, I'm hoping somebody pays me for them, because I would just love to fucking write guides for all that shit and have the fucking media and the hyperlinks and, you know, not be a total retard when I'm writing. Now, that might not be avoidable, but only a partial idiot, I should say. Because I could do so much better today. So much better with formatted tables and all the bells and whistles. It would be fantastic. I will take the damn praise. They are the best text guides for those games. There. Let's cut a deal. I will also say my Fallout 3 guide is the best Fallout 3 guide. And fuck it, you know, while I'm heaping praise on myself, let's say New Vegas too. That New Vegas guide is fucking good. It's got the best character creation guide, and it'll get you through the game in one playthrough, so that at the very end of the game, you've done all the side quests. Well, all the side quests you can do. Where the fuck do I go to get on this lift? And you've avoided all the major bugs, and you can join with any faction at the end. Now that's the kind of guide you'd want for New Vegas, if I do say so myself. Like, I cannot find how to get into this place.
Just come to me, Nathan.
Yeah, go where Jared is.
Okay. I'm running around this place looking at the fucking wall. Okay. Thank you, Jared. He's my retard leasher here. You know, ferret me onto this lift. Yay!
Like, someone go get the...
Someone get the idiot.
Nathan. Go get the Nathan. It's anonymous. No worries.
You know, and I also want to, because while I'm at this, you know, tooting my own horn. That Final Fantasy VII guide I wrote. Did someone fall through the elevator? Oh no, okay.
Hope not.
I swear I saw Jared fall through the floor. Did you fall through the fucking floor? I swear you did on my game. I need to remember to go back and look at that. But yeah, my Final Fantasy VII guide was really good too. I really like that one. The other guides, I'm not gonna go that far out of my way and claim much on. And Jesus, I looked at that Final Fantasy 15 guide again recently, Jared. Holy crap, that thing is awful. I am not proud of that one at all. But to be fair, we got like, what, 10 days to write most of it? So I've got an excuse for that one.
Yeah, playing through this Korean Final Fantasy 15 is gonna be rough because you don't know the name of any items.
Yeah, that was a
Well,
bigger.
rough maybe a little much.
That was a problem that I didn't really anticipate. Using items for healing, I'm like, fuck, what's a potion?
I just never use items.
Yeah, I mean it's a chore, but it's not that much of a chore considering I was able to platinum it. Oh, he's already down here.
Ah! Baron Flint.
Did he just shotgun you both in the face?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Could you, like, come back up here and raise us? Because there's nothing to shoot here.
I can try, but it's not letting me. I'm hitting the square button, it's not doing anything. There it goes. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Come on, come on, come on, come on. God, bullshit.
I don't know how
I tried, Ari, but it wasn't doing anything with my square button.
That's alright.
Oh,
Are you dead?
yeah, he shotgunned me as I was killing him.
You're on shit, so it's hard to get to you. Fuck. Who the hell is shooting me?
Ah. Oh, kill.
I don't know why it's reviving Jared. Because I was looking right at Rebecca. I don't know. This game's being goofy.
What even killed Jared?
I don't know. There's something shooting boom booms at us, so. I believe that's a technical term for it.
Boom booms.
Hey, that's a boss in the second game.
Oh, there's
Like
a
the
fucking
fusion
badass
bitches.
bruiser that is shooting fucking rockets. That you guys just all ran past. He's probably gonna kill him. Who the fuck killed it?
Me.
You an asshole.
Hey, I wanted to make sure he wouldn't do any mischief again. Alright, what else we got here? Near Automata shipments. Top 4 million units. Shipments and digital sales. It's not too bad for that game. Not too bad. Less good news here. Omega Labyrinth Life. Remember we all heard about all the drama with that other Omega Labyrinth game. This is a roguelike RPG which is going to launch for the Switch alongside the newly revealed, quote, playable in front of others, end quote, Labyrinth Life for PlayStation 4. So they have the same characters, character skills, monsters, items, story, dungeon difficulty settings, and the like, but differ in terms of sexual content expression. I think we can all guess which is a censored one and which isn't. That's clever marketing, playable in front of others. It's still a game with fucking sexy anime girls, so
Whose boobs grow bigger as they get more power.
is that really
Like,
any more
bigger as
playable
they
in
pump
front of others?
crystals or something.
So Rebecca, what are you, like level 90 or something? It's funny because she has boobs.
Do you think they didn't get that?
I didn't understand until he said it's
See?
funny because she has.
The innuendo
I
was
wasn't-
too strong.
I wasn't really paying attention to that. So.
See, and then I said the word boobs, and Ari's like, oh, what?
Yeah. It's,
But yeah, I mean, it's
hard.
like, there's no version of Senran Kagura that is playable in front of others. The stigma's
Well,
pretty much a shame either way. Like,
If the others that you're playing in front of are also perverts that need to get laid and don't, then it is playable in front of others. It's not playable in front of people.
it's playable in front of them either way, though. That's what I'm saying. There's no subset of person who's like, a game about sexy anime girls that are totally cool with it and wouldn't mind seeing it or wouldn't be ashamed to play it as long as they're wearing enough clothes.
Yeah.
Like,
Either
if
way,
you see a sexy anime
For
girl
the anime
game,
girl.
you're not like, well, I mean, she's wearing that maid outfit, so I don't think sex is part of the equation here. Like, no,
She's
you're...
wearing a maid outfit. It definitely is.
Well, that's apparently okay for Sony.
Oh. Don't ever let them look at like a sex slave shop. Because then they might be like, oh my god.
Didn't they used to
Don't
sell
play that.
like softcore porn on? No, maybe that was something else. No, I could swear they sold some fucking movies on the PlayStation Store.
They did what now?
I almost wanted to fucking say I remember seeing softcore porn on the Sony Store, PlayStation Network, like movies.
Movies?
Yeah, don't they sell seasons of shit too?
No idea. I never go look at the movies.
They do sell some movies. But
I think we
don't
made
remember
fun of it together, Rebecca.
There is on Funimation.
No, I'm not talking about anime. Like, obviously, there's. I don't know. I don't get the Funimation caliber of fucking ecchi stuff. It's like, is anyone really gonna get off to that? I don't know. I never saw the point of softcore porn.
Maybe if you're like a
Either do it or
12-year-old boy
don't.
that
Get off the
just-
fucking pot.
Yeah, maybe you're 12.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dig ourselves out of this fucking hole we're descending into.
And again, I've never been a 12-year-old boy. So.
Are you sure?
As we enter an area called the back door.
Woohoo! Thank you for degrading this podcast a few levels again there.
How dare you? That's
That's what I
You already told people my level.
I mean, this is being streamed on a Sony system, so watch it, Greg.
Yeah.
Speaking of bullshit outrage,
Don't let the people online find out that I have big boobs, because all our female viewers will.
Well, hey, you said you wanted more views for this channel, right?
yeah.
There you
Why
Yeah,
go.
but those
Why
are
aren't-
filthy male views.
Why aren't you working that camera, woman?
It's all up to you.
Rebecca, I think your understanding of demographics is wrong. Obviously, female views are only worth 70% of what male views are worth.
Oh my. This is why I don't go on camera. For that, I'm taking his legendary, and I don't care
okay. Kotaku's been doing some good stuff recently, but Polygon not so much. So,
It's fucking Polygon.
Rage 2 came out this week, and, Does anyone have any opinions on Rage 2 besides,
I don't know. It looked like it could be mindless shooting fun.
I mean, yeah, that's fine, but that's like Black Friday fine. Anyways,
Oh, these things are level 30.
until further ado, my opinion on Rage 2 is meh. But apparently that's too strong of a feeling for someone at Kotaku. Or sorry, Polygon, getting my bad gaming
Get
website
your
mixed up.
shitty game journalist.
Just read the title to this essay? Opinion article? Whatever it is. Rage 2 is a fun game that makes me feel like garbage. Rage 2 uses my birth defect as crude shorthand for mutant freak.
Oh dear lord. We have to go down this path.
Yes! We are going down this rabbit hole. And
I hate
hopefully,
you so much.
hopefully the rabbit isn't mutated, or else we might have to worry about its fifis.
Oh my goodness.
Every time I begin to enjoy Rage 2, it finds a new way to treat me like
I
shit.
tend to enjoy. Yeah, first of
I
all,
feel
this
like-
person is
you,
disingenuous in
specifically.
the fact that he's acting like he's enjoying this in the
Wait.
first place.
Who wrote this? It is a dude. Okay, you get away with that this time. But you shouldn't assume his gender.
Oh yeah, it's probably a chick.
Yeah, Greg. Maybe sexist.
Holy shit, that hurts. Someone else get him. Jared, tag in.
Another Rena.
God, that attack moves that slow, I kind of deserved it walking into it like that. There's a lot of individual bits I've liked in Bethesda's new post-apocalyptic shooter, created by the open-world geniuses at Avalanche Studios and the gunplay experts at id Software. And I have no doubt we will be unpacking what makes its open world click in the coming days, if not weeks. But I've never had a game... never has a game so personally and directly bummed me out.
Bummed you out.
Rage 2 currently has a 57% approval rating on Steam. Yeah, that's it hasn't been doing good with critical reception, but I haven't looked into why. So
Overall boring, gunplay good.
okay, well. So for $15, gunplay good. There's a claptrap in this area, by the way.
id Software.
What me? I don't know what actually killed me. Hey, thank you.
Last summer, I had a chance to talk with id Software Studio director Tim Willits about Rage 2. After a relatively straightforward interview running through the game's grab bag, can't read right now.
Grabash.
I don't know what happened with my brain, it didn't interpret. Grab bag of inspirations, the conversation shifted to something more personal. My birth defect and how the game presents it as a crude joke. Rage 2's publisher Bethesda has just revealed a $119 collector's edition that would come with a talking robotic bust of Ruckus the Crusher, one of the game's many Goliath mutants. Like other Crushers in the game, Ruckus has a gash running from the top of its upper lip through his nose, as if its face didn't form fully at birth. Oh, okay, he must be talking about a cleft palate. The mutation I explained...
Representation?
Well... Not that way.
He's big and awesome. You don't want to be represented by someone big and awesome.
I'm pretty sure he's murder fodder, but...
Who cares?
This is like that feminist thing all over again. I want representation in this game. Okay, we'll put you in as a normal NPC, just like the male characters. I can be hurt in this game? The mutation I explained to Willits looked like an exaggerated cleft lip and cleft palate. The original Rage used similar imagery for its mutants, and I told Willits how disappointed I felt to see the sequel following the same path. Fiction has long associated cleft palates or clefts with both villainy and mental health disorders, and it appeared the Rage franchise would perpetuate this cruel, damaging misrepresentation to a broad audience.
I don't know. Have you heard of how Joaquin Phoenix has been acting? Are you sure that's not true?
Joaquin Phoenix has a cleft palate?
Yes.
Okay. He's a dude from Gladiator, right?
Is he in that
Yeah.
movie? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right.
he's the main guy. I've never heard of this, by the way.
Repaired.
Heard of what?
Oh,
Joaquin.
it's repaired.
Ah, okay.
You know the big scar on his lip? Pretty sure that's from a cleft palate.
So I'm not going to keep reading this and belabor the point. You understand what it means. Won't somebody please think of the children is now won't somebody please think of the mutants? And as somebody who has 4 toes on 1 foot, I want to officially go out as an ambassador to Mutants Everywhere and say that every developer and artist has free range to pick or to depict 4-toed people in whatever way you want. I do not give a shit. So,
We got 9 toes in this game.
well, I have 9 toes in reality. So, then there's 9 toes in this game. You're right, and I'm okay with it. Although I
3 balls.
Yeah, and 3 balls.
and 3. Well, I can't vouch for that, but
But he's not
Where the fuck
denying
are
it.
we supposed to go? I'm all fucking lost.
I don't. You're the one who has to figure this out. The rest of us do not have working map markers.
Yeah. But doesn't help to have
This
one.
was a mistake.
Yeah, I fucking tell
Somebody
you guys
else
that
should be
all
the leader of
time,
the
but
game.
You still put me in charge of this shit, and I'm like, I
You
don't.
created the game first. You invited me. There was no intentionality behind this.
No. You guys had been
No.
playing, and so when I was
Oh
playing
man,
my
I'm making
game,
such
you
fantastic
said,
progress in the game.
oh,
In
we'll
what
need to
game?
join you
Borderlands?
because we're further than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was last
I'm
time,
about
not
to
this
open the
time.
vault.
We can do whatever. You're not about to open the vault.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Yep.
Well, that's because he doesn't get lost all the time.
Fucking Greg. Did we complete that quest for the?
Oh, this dude's shooting me in the back while I'm talking to this.
Where did I get 2 backpack upgrades from?
Because you obviously didn't fucking cash in the last fucking 2.
Well, fuck me. Fuck me sideways and call me Sally.
Fuck me yourself, you coward.
What?
What?
You're all the way over there.
Okay, now we need to leave this place. I don't know.
That wasn't awkward at all. Peter killed.
Well, if I just said no, you'd be like, "What? Am I not good enough for you?" I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole or any other hole.
Don't wanna hurt his feeties.
Okie dokie.
Ah, there's a tunnel here. So Jared knows where he's going, so what am
Jesus
I doing anyway?
I don't know. You're not doing anything, so
Oh, you motherfucker! I've been fucking triggering, like, everything we've done in this fucking
yeah, because you're the
podcast
only one who can
today.
find shit. Eventually. Shut up, Greg. You shit
Did
disturber.
let him get away with that? Shit stir, yeah, that should be like my official title.
That's it. You need to change all your BK stunt stuff to shit disturber stunt.
I thought you couldn't figure out where you were supposed to go, you little bitch!
I mean, I can see a fucking glowing console at the end of a linear fucking hallway. Jesus. I remember this kind of sucking in single player on the PS3. This, bunch of badass engineers. Not so bad this time around.
Especially since more than one person has a fucking Hellfire now.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt at all. Yeah, see, at least you found your own. Doesn't that feel better?
It was just sitting on the ground, too. Like,
Girl's like,
I don't
no,
know
I
what
don't care
dropped
where
it."
I get it.
I think Jared and Ari missed it because they thought it was fucking money because it was not in, like, it was not above the ground. So I just followed, and, like, I went to pick it up because I thought it was money. And then I was like, that's a fucking Hellfire.
I should write an essay for Polygon talking about why Borderlands is my favorite game series because as a nine-toed person, it finally gave me representation. There's a not 0% chance that they would publish that shit.
I'm pretty sure they would, especially if you come off as, you know, like, sincere.
Like,
You should
who?
do this.
I don't understand, like why
try
anyone
to
would
limit the sarcasm.
why
I
anyone
don't
would.
know how anyone views that shit as sincere because when you read it, it just all sounds like it should be read in a sarcastic tone.
I
Like,
just
it
don't
all
understand
seems
why
like
people
satire.
would define
It's so
themselves by
ridiculous.
such trivial fucking external fucking characteristics.
Dude,
Hey!
that's how how do you think that this whole victim culture thing began? That's what these people do. They define themselves by their sexuality and by their disabilities and stuff instead of, you know, rising above them.
One of the things I like about Claire is she is a shit poster. On Facebook, she shit posts. Like, she's not as bad as I am, but she goes after people. And there was some fucking dude on Facebook that she was arguing with because he was, like, bitching about people today not being manly. This is a fucking balding fucking 40, 50-year-old looking dude all his photos are of him golfing. Okay, so this is the tier we're talking about here. And people talking about manliness is one of my pet peeves. Just one of it gets me triggered, shall we say? Because that's the current vernacular. But in my view of manliness, like, manliness isn't a fucking checklist of shit you do and then you fucking earn your man badge. Like, if there's anything that is a diagnostic trait of anything that I would consider to be something you would want to find laudable or useful as a man, it's being independent enough not to let anyone else tell you what fucking manliness is. Right? That's a good start. Not being a fucking follower, not being a fucking, just servile bitch who lets somebody else tell them what they have to fucking do to earn some fucking recognition as some vague biological construct that is frankly either an is or isn't fucking thing you can look at by fucking touching someone's crotch. But if we have to attach fucking traits to it, not being a fucking wavering bitch and letting people tell you how to live, probably a good starting trait. And like, I'm a fucking 5'3" dude, so I'm not that fucking tall. I'm not gonna fucking beat too many people in a fight. I'm not gonna go into like a UFC cage and be fucking tearing anyone apart. And I never really felt like I had to fucking go and prove shit to anyone. Like, manliness isn't something I sit here and fret over. And I did some shit back in high school. Like, I fucking played football and lifted weights and things you would consider diagnostic of manliness. But kind of did it just because I thought it was fun at the time. And I wish I had like an air-conditioned fucking little side room that had a good concrete floor and some fucking rubber mats on it so I could still lift weights. Because I just like putting in some fucking rock music and lifting weights. It's shit I do. And I just never really thought about it like, I have to do this because it'll make me seem more manly. It's just, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do and not really fucking care what category somebody puts it into. I can't fathom these people who are so insecure that they have to like go out of their way to try and prove themselves as something like that. I don't know.
Hey guys, what's manly?
Let's go do man stuff together so we can all go and have witnesses to our manlitude. So if someone ever challenges it, we can be like, no, Jim was over there and I did 3 manlies that night. So I don't know. I never.
Yeah, but then he went out and sucked some dick. So.
And then he went out and sucked some dick, and that's not manly.
It's loving dick so much that you want to fuck it.
Right?
That's pretty manly. Dudes love dick, right? They want to talk
I'm so
about
glad
their dick all the
I
time.
just took that in a different direction. I regret nothing.
Is it really that different of a direction?
No. No, it isn't.
Rebecca and I were having, like, she showed me a picture on Facebook, GIF, I think, of 2 people, like, with big toy phalluses at crotch level, smacking them into each other, and she's like, it's real genital jousting. Yeah.
And he was like, no. And I'm like,
There's
but you want to
that
play
game.
genital jousting. You don't want to fucking have a blow-up dick
I had to
and, like,
explain to her
whack each other with
why
it?
being within, like, 3 feet of another dude while you are hitting each other's prosthetic dicks together is not
But
the same thing.
The gift had a female and a dude.
Oh, okay, well, I wasn't looking at them, because they were giant fucking waggling dicks. So,
And I asked them, like, 2 chicks doing it? Okay? No. 2 dudes doing it is gay. A chick and a dude doing it isn't gay.
see, there you go. See,
As long
well,
as 2 dudes aren't wearing inflatable dicks and whacking them together.
and that's why I am here. I am an arbiter that helps Rebecca figure out these
Okay.
odd social conventions, so she doesn't make faux pas.
Ah, yes, the old dick smacking faux pas. Alan Paris.
Okay, you know, you talk funny, right? But prominent cod pieces were a part of everyday attire back at one point, and you're
At
only
one point,
you're
yes.
only one bad fucking trip away from that turning into real life genital jousting. Yeah,
But playing a giant penis that jumps around on its balls, which the back of the balls forms a butt, which has a butthole that you then try to stick your dick into in the game. Totally not good.
why have we not played this game yet?
See, you're all excited about that,
Oh man.
but not if it's an inflatable dick and real people.
Okay,
And you're
$3.
just touching
Ari,
the
do you
dick.
have a computer?
You're just
No,
putting
not really,
the
no.
dick
Damn.
together.
You can play with yourself, Nathan. It
Well,
won't be the first time.
well, that's
Right.
true, but I mean, come on.
He did tell you all that he's 5'3", right?
What? What's that got to do with anything?
Never mind. Maybe he'll figure it out when you're older.
I don't plan on
Uh,
making it much longer than this, so. Oh, right. Broken ass fucking map markers. I'm in the wrong place.
It's probably telling you to go the same place it's telling me to go.
No, I mean,
But yes, run to a bunch of places.
I have the game, Allie. I just can't get any of these fucking beta males who are insecure in their sexuality to play some genital jousting with me.
Says the guy who's too insecure in his own sexuality to play genital jousting with an inflatable dick.
You are right. I do have limits. There is only so far my masculinity will stretch, and that limit
Well,
is
fine.
pretty much
Fine.
getting a prosthetic
Sarah
dick.
and I will genital joust,
You two
and
can
and
genital joust
Andrew
all you
cannot
want.
Watch us. No, you're
I
not
don't
allowed
want to watch
us.
that.
We will genital joust without you.
There's nothing in this world that will get me to genital joust with Andrew. I mean, except for like money, but you know, come on.
How much money? What is your cutoff?
Not as high as you'd
Boy.
think. I can buy some shit with money, you know? Like, I own soap and a shower, so that
You can
shit's
buy
not
some
gonna
shit with money.
it's not gonna
Okay.
affect me that much.
It's an inflatable dick.
Right? See?
It's not even a real dick.
I'd still watch the thoughts away. I know a preacher too, so maybe I could get him to pray, you know, just in case.
Pray your K away.
Most human beings
Pretty sure there's a law about that.
Most human beings are inherently shallow, and any sign of deformity, even small ones, tend to make people think less of them. Trust me on this. That's probably true. I mean, human beings are pretty shitty. Good thing my
Yeah.
deformity goes into a shoe and people don't fucking see it, so. Doesn't help that I take it out and show people, but... Whoa, that's a good stinger. Somebody cut that. I need to save that for later.
Somebody already beat us to cutting it.
Oh,
Thank you.
was that a circumcision joke?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
Good.
I got into an
That was a
argument about
you have
circumcision at work with
non-toes
my
joke.
coworkers.
No. No, the thing about my deformity, when it comes to the 9 toes, is my whole right foot is smaller than my left foot. Like, noticeably
It
so.
makes it easy to tip over.
Like, I'm not just missing the toe, I'm missing the entire bone for that toe.
Yeah, for the whole length of the foot.
Yep.
I
So-
would like to see an X-ray of your foot.
So I'm not just... Like, it doesn't look like I dropped a knife on my toe, like 9 toes here. I do not have that bone in my foot.
He was born with this. Yeah, probably shouldn't just jump off a cliff.
And it is a defining characteristic of my life. Rebecca's like, it's one of the reasons I stay with you.
No, it's one of the reasons I agreed to meet you.
Oh, okay. It was my charming personality that got her to stay. Whoa!
You know, it's D&D.
Haha, charming personality.
I need someone to bounce those ideas off of.
No, you do plenty of bouncing on your own.
Off.
This has just gone downhill. I just want to point
okay,
that
let's
out.
move on. Skullbones.
Entire
Skullbones
quote-unquote
delayed
podcast.
and is skipping E3 2019.
What is skull bones? I feel like I should know that.
You should know that, fucking Greg. Here, let me look it up because I don't know it either.
Oh my goodness.
It's that ship combat game that they basically took AC ship.
Oh,
combat
Skull and
into a multiplayer
Bones.
game.
Okay. Yeah.
You're not even saying it right.
I was just reading the title. I thought that was already out. Oh no, that's Sea of Thieves. Well, yeah, we need two of these fucking games on the market.
I'm not sure I
To
will.
be fair, Skull and Bones actually look like a game.
No, not really. Looked like online
You're
garbage.
gonna make us go around again? I thought we opened that fucking door.
You okay, woman?
Well, if I didn't have a fucking Hellfire, that would have been fucking nice.
Oh, good fire SMG.
Yeah. I'm for.
Yeah, you probably don't need another fire SMG. Talking from experience, until you have the platinum, you're done. Pretty much. I mean, this gun should work on your second playthrough. Hey, I got a quest for something.
You mean a trophy?
Or quest or something, yeah. Ubisoft will release 3 unannounced games during the 4th quarter of the current fiscal year. Doesn't that mean the beginning of next year? The way I understand fiscal years is, don't they end around March? Meaning it's planning a trial of AAA titles between the beginning of January and the end of March. Yeah, I was right. I could have just kept reading. The ginormous French publisher, this is from Push Square, their terminology, not mine, confirmed the tidbit in a slide to investors, also acknowledging the recently announced Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is due out on the 4th of October. We can be pretty confident that one of these titles is Watch Dogs 3, which is expected to be announced at E3 2019. Anyone getting excited for that one? And it's likely to be set in London. Like, that just seems like a franchise that they'd need to completely overhaul to get me even the least bit interested. You know, by, like, adding RPG elements. My solution for every
You guys have to
mediocre
run
game.
this way. Yeah. The map's sending indicator. You gotta go where I'm going.
There's obviously pent-up demand for a new Splinter Cell. Who the fuck is demanding that? But there's no evidence at all that it's currently on the cards. Elsewhere, we can be fairly sure there's a Viking-themed Assassin's Creed in production, which, I just want to say that again, Viking-themed Assassin's Creed. Fucking hell yeah. But that's not due until the tail end of 2020, presumably alongside the PlayStation 5. I mean, if it's in the same vein as Origins and Odyssey, day one buy.
Yeah.
Day one buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whoever's with me, we're going the wrong way. That'll teach you to follow me.
I fucking told you guys.
Rebecca's the
Said
same.
you gotta follow.
I
me
didn't listen
and
to you.
Jared.
That's okay. Only one person needs to make it to the area transition.
Unless this is us fighting someone.
I guess you're all just doomed, ain't you?
Oh, you're lucky it's an area transition.
Yeah. Deep dive shit.
Lucky.
Well, maybe I should
Go, Jared.
be more careful in my language. If we're at the end of the generation, and it's a cross-generation title, which it will be, let's be honest, there's very little chance that I'm going to buy a PlayStation 5 like soon after launch. I don't think I can muster up the energy to fight for one. But am I gonna want to buy a fucking full price game for a dead console? Maybe if it has 2 trophy lists. But we might just get to a point where I'm like, well, I'm not buying any more full price games until I get a PlayStation 5.
Or, you know, we may be offered a guide that will essentially pay for our PlayStations. Come on now.
If somebody wants to I mean, the problem with getting a PlayStation 5 early is me putting in the amount of effort to get one during its first year of release, because that's always a chore. Like, I didn't even worry about the PlayStation 4 until a year after it released, at which point it was pretty easy to get, but I remember that first Black Friday around the PlayStation 4, and fuck that. That is not happening. Oh, are we about to do the vault? Yeah, we are. Oh, no, we're about to go to the place where we... Okay. I mean, we might. I don't know what game that would be, hypothetically, but... If someone were to pay us good money for, I don't know, say, Cyberpunk. Fuck yeah.
It's possible. That's how I purchased my PS4. With Knack and fucking Killzone.
Yeah. I mean, for what those games are worth, but apparently they're worth a PlayStation 4, so... I would not be squeamish about that. But it's more of a supply issue than a will to buy a PlayStation 5 issue. Sega Genesis Mega Drive, the Mini. It's announced a number of titles for it. It's just hard for me to fucking care about this thing, honestly, because they've been releasing most of these games in Sega Classics bundles for the PS3 and Xbox 360 and now the fucking Switch and PS4 and Xbox One. Just, if we really wanted to play these games, we've had options, and one of those options isn't buying a little mini console, but I digress. Mega Man, The Wily Wars. Street Fighter 2 Special Championship Edition. What, not Turbo? Well, fuck you. Sonic Spinball, Phantasy Star 4, which all the cool kids were playing instead of Final Fantasy 6, I might add. Beyond Oasis, Ghouls and Ghosts, Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle, Golden Axe, Rebecca,
Yeah, Golden.
and Rebecca, Vector Man.
Woo.
And Wonder Boy in
That's
Monster
a much
World.
better. PlayStation needs to learn a thing or two from
I
Sega.
walked off a cliff. That'll teach me to pay attention.
That was great to see.
Teach me to read. Okay. Previously announced games include Altered Beast, Castlevania Bloodlines, Comic Zone, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
Classic.
why. That game's just fucking addictive. I love the music
I don't
it
like
plays. It's hard as shit.
Castlevania's an excellent game, too.
Yeah, the Bloodlines.
Yeah.
Echo the Dolphin, Gunstar Hero, Sonic the Hedgehog, Shining
I'll be
Force,
right back.
Space Harrier 2, Toe Jam and Earl. Not the good one, Rebecca.
No. Not Panic
You-
on
you like-
Funkatron.
You like Panic on Funkatron.
I know. I know.
I know. I'm just telling you. I remember lightning damage working a lot better on these things than it seems to now. Damn, do they give good experience.
Explosive works on them pretty well.
Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse, Earthworm Jim, Landstalker, The Treasures of King Noel, and that's... I'm going to go out of my way and vouch for that game. Landstalker is one of those really good 16-bit games that nobody talks about. Like, it never got its day in the sun. And for the Sega Genesis, it had really good graphics, was a long game, and pretty good elements. If you like sort of Zelda-type games, the whole platforming and combat, then, I mean, that's a pretty good one. The problem I have with it, of course, is the fucking platforming, which was obscene at times, expecting you to stick jumps on moving platforms that were really quite small, kind of dickish, but I'm sure Jared would eat that shit up.
Yeah, I've played Landstalker. It's pretty cool.
Good music, too.
Oh, yeah, it's talking about Landstalker.
Yep. One of the games I played back in the day.
I think they had a Saturn sequel too called Dark Savior or something like that.
Oh, I wouldn't know anything. I have a very interesting history with games. Like, not the NES, SNES, argue with fucking kids on the fucking playground about Sega versus Super Nintendo. Now, I had Super Nintendo, and that's all you're fucking getting, and then I moved to Germany for the second time when I was 8, and didn't come back until I was 13. And so, like, Sega was kind of getting on its last legs when I left, and when I came back to the United States right near the turn of the millennium, and Sega was pretty much fucking dead at that point. So I was in Germany. I didn't pay attention to the news or didn't have a way to follow these consoles too easily. So when I left, Sega was like the thing. Like, I had just gone to Disney World and Epcot Center when they had the fucking Sega display or Sonic display and all the lasers and shit. And I come back 5 years later and it's fucking dead. It's like, well, that's fucking weird. But I didn't miss it too much because I got a PlayStation right before moving back. And come on, if you had a PlayStation, you didn't give a fuck about the Dreamcast. That's pretty obvious. Oh. Yeah, these things are rough. Oh, I'm about to get killed. Yeah. I hate those things. No, switch guns. Oh, I can't aim this. Right, more games. Probot Ector? Probot Ector? I don't know what the fuck that is. Sounds goofy as shit. Man, this SMG is just not very good. Quit moving around, you bastard. How can I hit you if you're gonna move? There you go. Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master.
Fuck.
Oh, what?
Game crashed.
Oh. Okay. Don't go anywhere. We'll wait for Jared to come back. Like, I don't think there's much you can miss out on until we get to the vault, but...
There's no way you're
Sweet
going to the
XP.
vault.
There's no way what, Greg?
You're not at the vault.
We're gonna be at the vault soon. Look at the stream, jackass. Why are these guys stuck
You
on
killed Baron
spikes?
Flint already?
Yeah.
What?
We're literally right outside the final area.
Yeah. Just wait for Jared to return. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Streets of Rage 2. Fuck, I might buy this thing. Super Fantasy Zone, Thunder Force 3, and World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Well, they can't all be winners, but that's a pretty good lineup there. I wish it had Shining Force 2 and Sword of Vermilion, but I don't think they've listed all their games yet, have
There's
they?
still 10, yeah, there's still 10 games that do left.
Okay. What other Sega games do they need to put on this thing?
What Fantasy Stars do they have on there?
4.
Just 4?
Yeah. You know, the best by far.
Is that all that matters?
It really
Yeah,
is.
I suppose. I already have so many Fantasy Star
Was
collections.
Mutant League Football on there?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, Mutant League Football needs to be on there. I mean, I've got to say, fucking Panic on Funkatron, too. I mean, Jesus Christ. What the fuck? How is that not everyone's favorite Toe Jam and Earl game?
I think it depends on how high you are. Oh shit, we forgot to do the scavenger hunt in the salt floods.
Oh, let's go back and do it real quick. No, we can do it after this. Let's do this first, and then we'll go. Yeah. And that'll be our inventory trophy, and then we'll have beaten the game, and all that's left is to beat it all over again on the second playthrough in higher difficulty.
there a trophy for that?
Gotta get to level 50, and that's the way you do it, so. He's like, yes, Greg, you do have to play through twice.
Well, we can't grind level 50 without second game, huh?
Well, if you had to be-
No, the enemies aren't high enough level. I mean, you probably could if you want to get one experience at a time, but
Yeah, good point.
it's a lot quicker on your second playthrough. Oh, see, no, we could have done it. Maybe there'll be a fast travel point at the end here. Or is this the...
There's
No, there's a whole nother level left. So we can fast travel out of here, I think. Yeah, there's a fast travel station right here. So why don't we do that Salt Flats? Because we haven't done anything in this place. It's not going to hurt nothing.
yeah. Cool. Switch
Shadowrun... Was Shadowrun any good on the...
Yeah, they were different from each other.
God, I need to play those games on PC. Sucks that you wrote
the PC
guides for
ones
them.
are obviously the best ones.
Because... goes
I didn't write a
incentive-
guide for the first one.
Oh, you didn't. Fuck, maybe we should do that sometime.
Yeah, we probably should. I mean, the last two are way better, but... the
Didn't you
first one was
say
horrible.
Hong Kong is the best in your opinion?
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
I
I
really
just
like the characters in Dragonfall, though.
I need to play them. Inexile Entertainment was tweeting about Wasteland 2 coming to the Switch, and I was like, it's a damn travesty. I never wrote a guide for that, and they liked it. So, Inexile Entertainment, hit me up. I'll do you a fucking guide.
I'm pretty sure it's already out.
I know. Just don't ruin it, Jared.
Yeah, it's out.
I think it was like some update or some shit or whatever. But there's a lot of games I need to fucking play. It makes me sad that I haven't. And Wasteland 2 and Pillars of Eternity and Shadowrun, they're all on that list. I wish they'd port those Shadowrun games to the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Like, it seems like they missed out on the trend of ARPGs coming, or CRPGs coming to consoles. There's no excuse, though. Do a fucking trilogy, sell it for $60, I'll buy it.
Yeah, day one.
Easy fucking purchase there. Provided you don't let fucking THQ Nordic fucking do the ports. Heavy Rain Beyond Two Souls. Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit Become Human PC release dates and demos announced. I'm not going to dig into this too deep because it's just a fucking Epic Store and they can go fuck themselves. Here's a bad fucking trend that I don't like, and this might be my paranoia, but we'll see. We have at least two voices of reason on this podcast. Sony and Microsoft announced partnership for cloud gaming and content streaming solutions. So,
That's weird.
one of the longest running, I guess, feuds, points of contention between consoles in this generation anyway, after Sony's epic destruction of Microsoft with this is how you trade games on PlayStation. Fucking brutal. Is the debacle around cross-platform play. And it seems like when it comes to giving PlayStation owners the ability to play with their friends on other consoles, and generally just improving the value and user experience of being a PlayStation console owner, Sony can't be fuck bothered. But when it comes to spreading their streaming shit and eroding consumer rights, Sony and Microsoft are really kind of chummy, right? And I know to get over this hyperbolic language I'm using, you'd have to be crazy like me and assume that, by definition, streaming and cloud gaming are erosions of consumer rights. I think they unequivocally and obviously are. Because what do you fucking own when it comes to streaming or cloud gaming? You own nothing. You don't even own the license that you supposedly own now. And I don't think it's a smart solution for consumers to allow these companies to offload extra costs, like anything associated with ISPs, to us so we can own less of a fucking game or license than we already own. But there's my fucking paranoia for you. You can agree with it or disagree with it as you wish. But I just find it a little fucking telling and disturbing that they're able to shake hands on this, but they can't get us cross-platform play. So, it's all a matter of incentive,
I don't know what
I guess.
this last piece is.
Oh, we're doing the machine gun quest. They're all
Yeah.
near the entrance. So,
Yeah, and I can't find the last
yeah,
one.
someone found it.
Oh, there we go.
Probably Jared.
Good job.
He's a super sleuth like that.
I saw it.
That's pretty much how I got the other 3 myself.
But an actual release from this article from Gamatsu, the two companies will, quote, explore joint development of future cloud solutions in Microsoft Azure to support their respective game and content streaming services, as well as the use of current Microsoft Azure data center-based solutions for Sony's game and content streaming services. By working companies, the companies aim to... I wonder if that's a typo there. Aim to deliver more enhanced entertainment experiences for their worldwide consumers and build better development platforms for content creators. And to make more money for themselves by offering us less product. They left that part out, but I'm sure it's oversight. Ghostbusters the video game remastered rated for Xbox One in Taiwan.
What?
I heard that game was actually pretty good, so
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm not going to complain about it.
I had the platinum on the PS3 version.
What was the hang up with that platinum again? I remember asking
The
about it.
multiplayer was buggy.
It's probably non-existent right now. So,
Yeah, it was one of those games I rented from GameFly.
we need to find this fucking claptrap. Where the fuck is it?
We did that clock right.
Oh, you did that? Oh. Wait, what claptrap are we missing then?
We're not.
What?
We have all the ones that I know of that we can get.
He's thinking of the trophy, aren't you?
Yeah, but I don't know where that last one is.
I will find
Well,
it!
we did the one here. I can guarantee you that.
Let's see, where are we at? Get rid of that fucking... Oh, right. Get out of the menu. Salt Flats, Crimson Fastness,
Oh.
Old Haven.
Not there yet.
We didn't do the
did
one in
that.
Old Haven. I don't think.
We didn't? I think we did.
Fuck that place.
Does anyone remember doing it in Old Haven?
I mean, I did.
Can't remember. Can't remember for sure.
Okay, and then we gotta go to
Done
Old...
several.
Then we got to go to Old Haven to... I don't want to sit here and scroll through my quest to see, so...
Turn this one in first.
Well, yes, obviously. Hey, level 35. When did that happen? Oh, wow. You know, I posted this because it was so cringe. But we've done so much cringe on this podcast. Well, no, I want to hear Rebecca on this one. Rebecca, Batwoman,
Wait, where are we going?
Old Haven.
They're faster. Not like this.
Oh, sorry.
So there's a Batwoman TV series coming out. I'm just going to read this description paragraph. With the help of her compassionate stepsister, Mary, and the crafty Luke Fox, the son of Wayne Enterprises tech guru Lucius Fox, Kate Kane continues the legacy of her missing cousin Bruce Wayne as Batwoman. Still holding a flame for her ex-girlfriend, Sophie, Kate uses everything in her power to combat the dark machinations of the psychotic Alice, who's always somewhere slipping between sane and insane. Armed with a passion for social justice and a flair... I'm not making this up, by the way. And a flair for speaking her mind, Kate soars through the shadowed streets of Gotham as Batwoman. But don't call her a hero yet. In a city desperate for a savior, she must first overcome her own demons before embracing the call to be Gotham's symbol of hope.
Oh, this is the claptrap I couldn't get to. Couldn't figure out
That
where
sounds
the fuck
really
it was.
bad, especially when they have the social justice.
Doesn't
thing
it?
in there.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like something an anti-SJW would write to make fun of what something he didn't like would be. I think I know where this
And also,
one is.
fuck this fucking Batwoman and Batgirl shit and Spider-Girl and all these other fucking girl versions of fucking male heroes. Make me a fucking new goddamn hero. Otherwise, you're a panderer.
Okay.
That shit's annoying.
You gotta switch to the quest. I don't remember where this thing is, but I found the claptrap.
Okay.
I mean, it again sounds like they went down a checklist and just were like coming up with
This is
woke
what-
things to put into the
This
series.
is what people want, right? Yeah, Bill. This is exactly what people want.
So,
Sure. People love dumpster fires, don't they?
I mean, it's the sort of ass backward shit you see with this sort of generation of writing these days, where they're not making characters. They're just kind of checking off traits for people to have because they think that is what a character is. And I mean, it kind of, in some sense, like if you're making a Dungeons and Dragons character, you start off with, you are a male human, and this is your class, but that's not good storytelling.
Motherfucker jump.
Yes, Nocturnia knows that Batwoman and Batgirl have been around for a long time. I'm assuming
I know,
she never
and
liked it.
I've hated them my entire fucking life. I think they're stupid and they fucking piss me off. I know it's on
Pretty
a
sure
new
there's
game.
a bat
I just
dog,
fucking never
too.
liked it.
A bat dog.
Pretty sure.
Dumb.
There's a super dog.
Anyway,
Oh God.
If these people can make money by pandering, they will do it.
I mean, you have to ask yourself, wouldn't you? I mean, this makes me think of the Time Spinner Guide again, with how ham-fisted that all was.
I got my trophy. Did you all get your trophy?
Oh, I didn't use the SDU yet. Busy fighting things.
So was I, but I don't care.
Well, that's the difference between us.
I didn't die.
I still have one more to get.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I don't
See?
know which one you're missing.
I'm rolling my eyes too, Allie. Oh, no, wait, no, they're just
At what?
cringing. I don't... Allie doesn't agree with our take, I don't think.
At least her outfit doesn't look too bad.
It's kind of hard to fuck up a bad outfit. Like, I think the only one that was objectively bad was the Adam West fucking version. Like, this, let's just find some gray felt and... Yeah,
Spandex. Gray spandex.
whatever. It wasn't spandex, I don't think.
What the
No,
hell?
I agree with Nocturnia on that. Like, the most useless thing you can do is take a character and make the female version of it. It just reminds me of that Futurama episode, Gender Bender. Like, it's just the laziest writing. Oh, I was selling shit. Go on. No, now Jared's doing it.
Is too.
RPG site posted a story about Lords of Development, which apparently is not having an easy development cycle. Surprise, surprise. Lords of the Fallen 2 has hit another major snag as publisher CI Games has confirmed they have terminated their work agreement with new developer Defiant Studios. The original partnership was announced just a year ago, although plans for Lords of the Fallen 2 have been public since 2015. This is sort of like the anti-hype, right? In a Polish press release translated by Eurogamer, CI Games made this statement regarding the split. This is kind of brutal here, if I remember. The termination of the agreement was submitted due to inadequate execution by Defiant of a key work stage, milestone number 11, a so-called vertical slice. The quality of work was lower than expected by the company, as precisely described in the agreement, despite 3 calls to improve the quality of this stage of work. So, I mean, I'd love to see details, but your progress sucks. Your progress sucks. Your progress sucks. You're fired. Yeah, I guess was a succinct way to sum that up. Ouch, that hurts. My only consolation when it comes to all this comic book shit is I don't like comic books. So I can just sit here and laugh at it without being too aggrieved at what they're doing to the characters or franchises. Like, the idea of somebody making a Catman just popped into my mind, and how fucking lame that would be.
I think he exists.
Oh god, no.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I remember.
Female
That was
version of
fucking
Thor.
lazy.
there was a female Thor. I think the story was... It was another character who got Thor's hammer or some shit, so... That's where that incredibly...
There's a Catman.
Oh, Jesus. See, I can't even fucking parody this shit. Like, both sides of this little fucking culture war are just self-parodies at this point. Nope. I used to read Batman back in the day. Look, this is comic books. This isn't some doctoral thesis. I don't need some long-standing amount of experience to comment on the over-inclusion of social baggage to long-standing franchises. Despite what, you know, professional feminists would want you to believe. You do not, in fact, need a gender studies degree to comment on this stuff. I think the Thor comic book was the one that did that really cringy page. If I can fucking remember. Do you remember the one I'm talking about, Jared? Like, I think one of them was they had just had a villain saying a whole bunch of stereotypical internet shit, and one of the things it said was unsolicited opinions on Israel. Just right in the middle of the fucking comic. It's just like, what the fuck is this even?
We talked about this a couple months ago.
Years ago.
I remember that.
Years ago at this point. But yeah, I mean, that was just... That is baggage. Baggage. I mean, they're just not comparable, Allie. The two things, because these are Disney owned for the most part these days, franchises that are doing pseudo wokeness to try to appeal to an audience, and in my opinion, cluttering up their story behind. I don't need to be able to refer. Well, in Batman 273, Batman did that. It doesn't fucking matter. It was a different time back then, different era. People were doing different things, and the characters are fucking so uncanon that is hardly fucking relevant. And a lot of it's just subjective personal taste. Like, I think taking one person or character and going, this is the female version of that character. It's just fucking lazy. It's lazy and it's boring at its
Lazy,
just fundamental core.
I find it actually mildly offensive. Because it just says, we don't give a fuck enough about our female audience to make them a new superhero.
Now, this is something that...
fucking double middle finger.
This is something I don't really have any sort of ground to comment on, but personally, I'm just sick of girl power shit in general. Like, I remember back in the day, we didn't need this shit spoken, where we had characters like Ellen Ripley and Sarah Connor and shit like that. So, you know, we...
Yeah, the Spice Girls kind of started that.
It's been there for a long time.
I mean, it comes and goes, and, you know, it'll go away again. Maybe we'll get some interesting female characters who aren't fucking Mary Sue's or don't have to fucking find some patriarch to overcome every 5 seconds to prove themselves. But till that time, it seems like we're kind of just stuck with these half-baked ass walking political statements masquerading as characters that are usually wearing some man's tights.
That's just annoying. I'd rather have a fucking genuinely made character like that, just not a pander type character. I'm gonna be confused on that. Not looking for one where they're like, let's tick all the boxes. But one with like a convincing, genuine storyline like they have for the male characters. That's unique.
The last really good female character in fiction I recall, I think, was like FemShep. And granted, if that even fucking counts, because you could make that any gender, but it's kind of the point, is the traits of the character were universal. She didn't really have to go, I'm a strong woman and I will prove myself. No, she just fucking murdered people. She's straight up badass. She didn't need to fucking play she was playing the fucking alien genocide war, not the gender war. Gender war is fucking done. Like, that was unstated at that point.
I can't tell which of my guns is best against these things. It's not the...
I think it's my dual penetrator.
My explosive one does a lot of damage, but being able to shoot these motherfuckers from a distance...
Are they novels, Allie, or are they visual novels? Okay. And, like, there are examples of female characters that I detest. From a feminist perspective, actually. Like, there's a comic I used to read back in Dragon Magazine called Snarf Quest. And that's what it was called. I like the art in it a lot, and I still find it entertaining to this day. The main character was like some cowardly monster thing with like a snout and bat ears. It was a really weird fucking comic. And, like, there were female characters in that, but they were kind of like that 80s hair stereotype. They're basically just there for the TNA. And to nag a little bit. And granted, they were stronger and more competent than Snarf, but Snarf was a fucking comedy character, so that's not hard. But they were kind of just very bland female characters, obviously written by a male to throw in a love interest.
So is this the same character as Snarf from Thundercats?
No.
Oh, okay. I was picturing Snarf this whole time.
No.
Snarf from Thundercats is awesome.
Snarf was basically Jar Jar Binks. How very fucking dare you, sir?
Hey, you're the one that enjoyed it.
I will disagree with that
Thundercats,
characterization.
Jar Jar Binks.
I mean,
like Snarf.
I see the physical resemblances, but Snarf was incompetent in his own way. He wasn't a me's are going to represent black stereotypes. Jesus fucking Christ. But if I had to do a critique from a feminist perspective of a poorly done female character, that's where I would go.
Any of the females in Snarf was.
Oh, okay. Well, you can't just say Jar Jar Binks, because that is so fucking loaded. Like, there's so many things wrong with that character. So, it's just toxic.
Yeah.
Like,
Everything about that character is just
like, okay, if you were to essentially say that my talking points remind you of Sargon of Akkad, that would need unpacking, because that guy is such a piece of shit on so many levels that some nuance would be required. Such an imbecile on so many levels, too. Jesus, that guy's fucking dumb. But anywho, this is a little story, and I posted this on Facebook because I thought my audience would get it, and they go catnip whenever I say something good about CD Projekt. Like I posted that anniversary of The Witcher, and everyone's like, "I'm going to give it my like." But this, no one really seemed to run with it, and I found it super amusing and ironic. I'll just read the title and see if anyone else gets it. As Cyberpunk 2077 development intensifies, CD Projekt Red pledges to be, quote, more humane to its workers.
Huh.
In case I have to explain the obvious to anyone, one of the major themes about Cyberpunk, just as a genre, is giant evil corporations crushing its fucking workers and damaging society as a whole. So, in an industry notorious for treating workers like shit, and for CD Projekt, who has had allegations of crunch time, pretty hard crunch in fact, them promising to be more humane to workers working on a Cyberpunk game is just dripping with irony and bad form. It's, in my opinion, probably not as bad as the Unity thing, but kind of bad form CD Projekt. And also perversely ironic, because, you know.
Well, maybe the themes of Cyberpunk made them go.
Maybe CD Projekt's like, we're going to torture them so much that our writers they really connect with the Cyberpunk themes, and they write it into the game.
And now that they've experienced it, they will make the best characters and we can lay off it. Just a little bit though, because we still have deadlines. Motherfuckers. To work.
So,
You can see your kid when he's 12. He was just born. Exactly.
I'm still reminded of that one Angry Gamer article, which is such a shit site, that was whining about Cyberpunk, saying it was SJW because the character in that hour-long demo they showed off had, like, half-shaved purple hair. You know, kind of like the punk in Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And I just... Man.
She wakes up with a dude. Like some random naked dude.
She was obviously... She's pretty fucking good looking. That's not what a fucking feminist icon would probably look like. Just saying, based on years of these people whining about video game characters. But these people, like, when you have to find fucking sexism, by God, you will find it. And when you have to find fucking SJWs, you will find it. Oop, yeah, I went a little too far that time. All these people have are fucking hammers, and damn are they on the lookout for nails. But, yeah. Cyberpunk is going to talk about politics, so everyone in that comment section was like, why do they have to bring politics into Cyberpunk? Cyberpunk is political. The genre is political. You can't have it without politics. Transhumanism is like one of the major themes. Another one is capitalism running amok and getting bad, especially vis-a-vis corporatism. So, if you're some sort of fucking pathetic chode that's sitting here salivating over fucking CD Projekt Cyberpunk game and so fucking clueless that you don't know what the fucking Cyberpunk genre is, please don't fucking play the game. We do not need you in that fucking fan base.
Sorry, Ari, I didn't realize you were right behind me.
Okay.
I thought you were ahead of me, so I went to run ahead to get you.
It's
And
all
then I was
good.
like, no, that's not him.
Nah, you got me in time. It's alright.
No, that was Jared got you. I just kept that
Oh,
badass
okay.
from killing Jared.
Oh, man. Okay. Some innuendo. THQ Nordic is booking for an unannounced title that you will absolutely want to get in to see. I can't reveal what the title of this remake is, but it's the long-awaited return of a galactically beloved game/franchise. THQ Nordic is booking for... Oh, Jared just reposted that for some reason. Why was I reading that again, Jared? Damn you. So they're teasing some galactically beloved game, and somebody came out with a... Shit, let me see who said something. Somebody on RPG Gamer said, it's probably a new Destroy All Humans. Which makes sense, given their whole, you know, galactic talk and THQ, so... We'll see. I'm almost... I'm hesitant to see what a Destroy All Humans looks like in 2019. I remember playing this the first time and being like, okay, we're gonna fight this bitch, and blah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, did that just...
Don't use any elements on this thing, he's immune to them all, so... he's got a lot more life this time around. Yeah, see, in single player, I killed him by the time he moved his large tentacles out. So where you at, Greg? We're about to beat the game. Hurry up, man.
Ah.
Can't join us.
I'm not saying that. He's just like, I'm almost at the vault.
I'm doing
Work in
the,
it.
That hurt.
the Underdome.
Oh, you're doing some of the DLC? I think I'm going to take a break and heal a little bit. Wow, you can still see me. Quit dying, you cowards!
It's just me.
Son of a bitch. Tentacle slapped me.
What'd it do to you?
Damn tentacles.
Well, looks like you'll just have to pick me up and beat the game again, huh?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, this will teach you to be late. We're late all the time, but it's okay.
Oh
when we're
no.
late. Again? Alright, come on now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay.
He keeps nearly knocking me off the ledge.
Yeah, I was getting knocked back too, and I was having flashbacks of fucking Terramorphous.
Alright? Droid the Destroyer.
I'm really getting tired of these heterocentric romance novel advertisements on Facebook. Give me lesbian romance, damn it.
I'm sorry I couldn't warn you about what was in it, but for you to be there to stop it, I couldn't have unfolded any other way.
Oh yeah, this is a new ending. Oh, we're in a block scene, so all you scrubs can't see it. You'll have to buy the game or watch it on YouTube. See, this is called foreshadowing. Huh? And guess what, guys? That's it for the news! What fucking timing, huh? Yeah. It's almost like this was planned, which I can assure you it was not. Planning ahead. Ah. I mean, they're advertising stuff to you, Allie, because you're clicking on it, so... Is there's something you're not telling us?
Wait. What was the complaint?
Getting heterocentric romance novel advertisements instead of lesbian romance novel advertisements, I presume.
Oh, for like an actual novel?
I assume.
Oh. I thought Ellie was talking about those like dating sim things that they have where... Because most of mine are lesbian ones, so I don't know what you're doing wrong. But
What are you doing, woman?
I don't know. There's a shotgun over here. Corrosive. I think it's a shotgun.
I bounced off of someone's head. So, shit. Yeah. So I guess all there is to do now is play the game again!
Yeah.
No, it's saying we gotta turn in the vault key or something.
Oh yeah, I gotta do that too.
Should grab me and we can get through it.
You haven't even beaten the game once yet.
Shush. That's what I'm saying.
Must
Grab me.
comment.
Let's finish.
Well, who knows? Maybe when Jared hops off
I
here.
haven't got the Maiden Firestone trophy yet.
There was one
Made
character
in
I didn't
New
talk
Haven.
to. Oh. I don't know if we got that yet. I think we did.
Man, that's a lot of fun.
I have a few Yuri visual novels. I'm assuming Yuri is woman on woman.
I think so. Isn't Yaoi the
I-
male one?
I'm proud to admit I don't know the difference.
I always get them confused.
Okay.
Like backwards. So.
Oh. Okay. Let's get this phase strike ability. That sounds fantastic. So we'll turn this in, and then see what trophies are left. I mean, we're not platinuming this game today. Just
No,
I think I'm done playing for the day. It's
we
getting
can.
late.
Oh, see, well, you can take Rebecca's spot. Or we can join your game and whatever.
Yeah, just join my game.
Oh, I thought everybody would be done playing by now.
I'll help Greg beat the game. It won't hurt nothing. I might hop off the chat though. These headsets are bugging my ears.
Yeah, they're really hurting my ear. Yay.
And also, I think I'm starting to feel those cheese bread and pizza balls. Pepperoni balls.
Oh, I interpreted that in.
I don't want to
Feel
know.
them as in you're hungry for them, not feel them as in they're making you sick. I was like, but we didn't eat them.
No.
That's what my brain did. It was like, but wait, no?
Anyways, that is it for the 3G podcast, episode 141. What are we doing next week because of Andrew and Sarah? Are we hang out with them on Sunday?
I think Sunday.
Okay, so we might not do a podcast next week, honestly. Because of real life people bugging us.
What?
It happens. I mean, unless we do it early or we do it Monday or whatever the hell.
Well, we'll be setting a big fire.
Yeah, no,
like,
we're not doing a
all
podcast
that
Sunday.
stuff.
You need to call the.
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
You only have to do that during certain times of the year.
What anime are you watching right now, our Allie?
I just came back here to get the rest of the stuff.
Oh, Jesus, you're such a fucking goober.
I have to get, like, all nines on my...
Do you? Why? Oh, no, I might have everything except completed all missions in the Rust Commons. Done. Level 40 trophy. Level 50 trophy. Yeah, that's it. Did all the quests, I guess, so... Awesome.
I've still got a hidden trophy here. I don't know what that is.
I never heard of Log Horizons. I was watching some anime about a slime, and I can't remember what it was called. But it was pretty funny. I don't know what it was. Some. It had slime in the title.
I liked Log Horizon. It was pretty good.
I watched Tokyo Ghoul, and I really enjoyed it.
I saw what's his name? The dude who does the Warhawk on GameFAQs was posting memes using Tokyo Ghoul art.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I could tell because
I
of the
actually
fucking
really
black and
enjoyed
red
that
eye.
series. I didn't think I'd like that series as much as I ended up liking it.
I'm still gonna recommend, Allie, that you watch the Steins Gate anime. I think that was really good. I mean,
Yeah,
ideally you should
but-
play the game too, but you know, I think the
Ideally.
anime's worth it either way. What's that, Greg?
Ideally.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that'll do it. Send me an invite, Greg, and I will join your game, and I guess I can help you. Not that you need my fucking help, but whatever. Beat the main game, and if anyone else still wants to play here, I don't think Greg would mind having you along. But until, not next week, but the week after, that'll be the beginning of June. Holy shit, will that be the fucking week before E3?
I think so.
Holy fuck.
E3 predictions.
Ooh, no, well, no, I think that's actually wrong, because we will be, we'll be skipping the 20... Oh, no, this is the 27th. Why did I think we were hanging out with them on the 23rd?
I don't.
Yeah, no, that's right.
22nd is Wednesday, so.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with my brain, but... Yep. No podcast next week, but the week after that...
we're hanging out June 22nd.
Oh, okay. Right, because that's their
Because
birthday.
her birthday's
Right,
the
right, right.
23rd.
Okay. It makes sense now. My brain is marginally
Yeah,
functional.
I keep getting them mixed up too, so.
Jeez, Greg has a sweet-ass
But-
shotgun.
If you're getting them mixed up, that means your brain is as fucking weird as mine, so.
I don't even have the brain damage excuse. But yeah, no podcast next week because there'll be people in the house and they don't want us doing podcasts. And plus, there's a big fucking we're gonna have a big ass fire out there.
Yeah.
We've got a mound
We're gonna
of.
have 3 big ass fires. Let's be honest.
No, I'm gonna focus on the
No.
one. We've got a mound of shit out back. It's a pile of fucking wood that's about, no joke, 10 feet tall.
Which
10
is
feet
going to have to
tall,
turn into-
maybe
Mayday
like
trophy.
40 feet in radius. It is huge.
It's going to have to turn into 2 fires, though.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start a
Let's
fire.
Take half of it off.
No, we're going to take
burn
less
it
than
off
half
to
of
the
it off.
side,
We're going to take
burn
some
the
of it
other
off,
half.
burn it off to the side, and then add and feed it as time goes
Well,
on.
yeah. And then I'm setting the whole fucking other pile on fire.
I don't care. The other pile is smaller. So if we don't make it,
And then-
like,
And then the little pile also has to be set on fire.
if you guys don't hear from us again, it's probably because we got ourselves fucking killed burning shit. So,
I bought hoses.
she did. She bought 200-foot hoses. So, we're responsible adults. Not responsible enough not to do the dumb thing, but responsible enough to know that we're doing a dumb thing and might need to prepare. So, yep, no podcast next week. The week after that will be E3 predictions, and the week after that will be E3. Holy shit, E3. So we might do live streams. Allie, if you can get your shit working. No, there's no podcast next week. In 2 weeks, it'll be the E3 predictions. And I'm sure by E3 predictions, we half mean leaks. And I don't know. We'll have to think about E3 predictions. I don't got anything right now. But, and if Allie, you can get a microphone, or anybody can get a microphone and be awake for the E3 shows, I like to live stream those and just comment on the debauchery I am seeing. It's an open invitation for anyone to come by and make fun of everyone's shit. Except for Sony, who is taking their ball and not having a show this year, because apparently they haven't got nothing to show off. But anyways, until next week, talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Or next week after next. There.
Yeah. Later. Eventually.